Morning, team. Morning. How's everyone doing? Monday morning. Hope you had a good weekend. All that good stuff. Hope you're prepared for the market this morning. Let's go over everything that we're looking at right now. Make sure you've gone through your weekly levels that I give you in the newsletter. It's important to understand where we are at with the market right now. Okay, as always, starting off in the daily, you can see, right, we are still above this high volume node. But what we have seen this morning in Globex is a failed breakout of here. And this is what we're really looking at this morning. Okay, so are we going to pull back and hold this area? Are we going to continue to grind? Or do we have a failed attempt to break higher that causes this pullback? Is there a deeper move under that? I doubt it today unless something drastically changes. But, you know, we might need to build this out longer. And we're going to look at the hourlies to understand that. All right. Move this up. All right, hourlies. This is our pin low that we're watching. All right, from Friday. And this is Friday's value. All right, so it's very simple. Do we hold above value? If we can hold above value, can we try and get up into this area up here? We have like the expected move area. We kind of came into it already, which is where we started failing. The weekly expected move is sort of 5 to 7s. Current day expected move 5, 3 is kind of 3 to 5s. Right, so we kind of already came into it. So it might be that the options dealers are saying, hey, we don't want to do this too early in the week. So this might be the range today to start with, which is why we've seen a failed breakout. If we come back inside value, all right, if there's a look below and fail, all right, and we see that, then we can try and get 3 to 5s. If they rotate value, all right, if this is the fail break and they come back down and they can't hold this area, then we're watching for the move into 30,080. And you see we've got a little LVN there. And if we drift under that, then into previous day's value area low. And if we let go of that, then we can think about that back test of this old point of control, which is currently naked. Right, because we haven't come back to it since we made it. Let's just put, should we get one of these on here as well for the week? All right, so that's what I'm watching. When we think about the GEX levels, expected move is up here. C1 is up here. In fact, I wonder if they've updated this now that we can get it. No, not yet. Okay, well, it's coming early week because I did say that. So this is the max move potentially for the day. This is the max move for the week. All right, bottom side of it is 30,070 to 30,863s. 30,070 to 30,000. So down here. All right, so we're pinned in there. All right, call walls above, neutral zone. Very unlikely we go neg gamma today. Very, very unlikely. It is possible we get to that zone. We might well bid it. So I'm really interested in if we're going to be in a range for early week, this bigger range here to develop. All right, and that would be a nice back test of down here. So we'll see this morning what we get. If we get an early look where we see another push and fail and we can't get back inside this, I might consider the short to this area, and then if they lose that, a short back down, try and hold the short back down to value and a run, and maybe an add here on a runner. And oppositely, if they flush and hold, I might consider that a bid, and if they come down here drastically for some reason and then they hold it, that's a bid back out as well. All right, don't really want to be buying too high today given what we're seeing in the broader market. All right, let's move this to a 5, bring us over to ES and go through the indexes. You can come off, mate. All right, same kind of story on ES. You can see RBS zones right here. And then we've got a range that developed last week underneath and a midpoint around here. And you can see there's a clear failure at these highs. Remember, we are at all-time highs. And that's where we're at with ES. So does it hold neutral zone? These are the questions we're asking. All right, does it create a new range in here? Does it lose this RBS zone and come to midpoint? Does it lose midpoint and come to lows? Does it bid off any of these? Right, or is there a break and hold or a fail breakout and a trade inside? Right, pretty simple, pretty clean, but there's a fairly obvious range being developed with sort of stair stepping here that you can focus on ES, and the gamma matches it very, very well. So that just looks pretty clean this morning. I wouldn't expect like huge moves early in the week. Spiders is going to be the same kind of thing. There you go. Very, very obvious here. Right, one. Lower side. Midpoint, which would be a high volume node. Indeed, this is great. All right, and then at the highs. And at the highs, we do have some GEX levels up there if they do want to drift higher. Right, you're posing the same questions. Do we hold 75-ish? Right, is there a little move under 75 and a hold? And are we coming back to the top side of the range? Do we lose this level and trade to midpoint? Do we churn this? Do they then come down out of one of these areas? That's the area where I'd say you don't really want to trade. You don't really want to trade 73s to 72s on the spiders. Okay, and then up here, is there a fail break or is there a break and hold when we get there? Qs. Okay, you can see we came in top side. If I just zoom this out, you'll see what I was looking at. All right, this is where we failed last time. We do have some resting liquidity higher if they do want to get up there. But we have come into this zone where we put in a peak formation before, and we're clearly getting stuffed on it right now. But overall, we are bullish still. Remember, we're in breakout, pullback. They can hold this and develop a new channel, all right, which is what they're trying to do. This is their final target. But if they fail, all right, this top channel and there's pressure under here, a retest of this is plausible. It's still available. It doesn't have to be today. So just be aware of that. Overall, though, we are bullish. We'll keep reminding you, we are bullish. It's just we're drifting higher, and it's there are some warning signs, and we'll talk about those warning signs. Here's your first warning sign. This is crude. All right, now energy broke out last week, and crude is holding up very, very well. Diesel's breaking out as well. And if this keeps going, that is a problem for the market, all right? Especially given what we saw out of Iran this morning, saying they're going to be the aggressor now, all right? So if this keeps going, that's going to be inflationary pressure in the market. The hedges already sort of started in gold, and we'll see if they are willing to hold a bid from moves up. And like we talked about on Friday, VIX, which came to its lowest point in 12 months, is likely to find a bid soon, okay? And it's OPEX week. And you are starting to see this here. Now, if they're going to hold above 15s, they can look for 16s. Over 16s is where the squeeze can start. We don't really start thinking about damage until we get up here. But, you know, that on an OPEX week and the week after is very plausible. If they keep doing this sideways, then we can slow grind higher. But this is where I'd say if we get big Iranian news or Trump saying, look, we're going to, you know, put boots on the ground or something crazy like that, then we will see a move like this, and you'll see oil do this, and you'll see the market do this. Okay, so just be aware of the broader market right now. Mags still in range. All right, opening up inside of Friday, slight gap up there, but just in a range. Not much to do with that right now. We have to see how the rotation takes place. Soxal gapping up, but again still in range. Okay, here's your overnight gap in the semis, but still in this top side of the range. Failed, pulled back. We can flip this now potentially on semis, 47s. All right, so then we're asking the same question. This looks very much like the rest of the market we just went over, doesn't it? We're trapped in between three key levels at the moment. Right? Does it hold its new RBS? in towards 47s. Right, does it fail to recover 150s? If so, it probably comes to 47s. Does it hold a bid for 47s to go 150? If not, we go gap fill and we trade down to 42s. If we lose 42s, we go 40s. All right, so you can see there's just clear levels to trade between at the moment. You want to see the market trade into each level and make your decision which way you're going to trade it once we get there. And IGV coming down. All right, but still in consolidation off highs. All right, this is its big pivot down here. All right, so we expect this to cool off. It's been on a huge run. All right, we expect it to come back down in. All right, and they make the decision if they're willing to hold this. It's important to zoom out and remember how big a move this is done in response. Right, this has been a big move up to this key level. All right, are we going to see that continued push? I would say it's going to struggle to do that if semis don't come back down inside. Normally, right, individual names will go very, very quickly through. Apple, most of these are going to be the same, right? Trying to recover, gapping up, but it is still got to get through these 307.50s. All right, so any dip which holds 306s is positive. That would be a hold of the gap fill. We lose that, we start seeing neg pressure back inside last week's range. So it's got to hold above 306s. Amazon, same kind of story, gap up, but this is the level now. 265s. All right, this is starting to perk my interest quite a lot because that's been a big sell, and if we can hold 265s, that will be your first higher low. All right, anywhere in here that holds, we might see relief. Goog looks messy here. All right, that's a no touch for me until we break above and hold, because this is still dangerous. But opening up inside yesterday's range, open up pretty much flat. Meta, same kind of story, big range being developed, a little undercut here. Is it willing to hold above 65? Softy, still coming back down inside. We'll see. I would like to see an undercut here. I think it looks pretty dangerous here. It's building out. I think that this is going to come before it even thinks about doing that. It's going to have to come for a back test of this because we've lost the bid up here and that looks dangerous. There's probably buyers caught for that 500 break. Nvidia, all right, looks great, but it might need a little reset. But overall, remember the PE ratio on this is small. It hasn't been the market leader. Does it become the market leader again is the question. Can it hold pullbacks and keep moving? But overall looks pretty good. It's going to depend on the broader market. And Tesla still trying to recover. Hit its call at 350. Needs to hold a bid at 35s. Otherwise, the thing will start to see downside pressure again after it's found some relief. All right, folks, you know where we're at. I'm not too fussed in pulling the trigger first thing this morning on a Monday. I want to see how we react and where we go, and then we're going to make some decisions after that. Of course, I've just moved a key level straight away. What was this? 29,871. Well done, Alex. All right, here we go, folks. Good luck, everybody. Remember, what we're going to see if we're going to see pushes that fail or if we hold value and make our mind up from there. Let's see what this market wants to do early morning. Mag slight gap up. Semis coming into overnight high already. If they can get going today, big if, they can break out of 154, 155, then they have a shot up to 160. Moment, we're opening up between the two VWAPs. Where is one new VWAP and why is it not resetting? Slightly odd. There it comes. Put some volume on it. Okay, coming into the underside of the Globex shelf here, in towards 300. Let's see if they get stuffed up here. There are some big buyers coming in up here, and if they get stuffed, we'll consider taking the short. Big buyers coming on the tape there. Let's put this back on if it's not. There we go. Big buyers coming on the tape and getting stuffed. Let's see if we can short this, if they're going to stuff this underneath everything. Where's ES got to get to? What's that shelf there? 13s. SPY being sold into VWAP. Yeah, there are big buyers here getting caught. MAG now flushing underneath PDC. Semis are still trying to break out. So we've got a rotation here, early morning money coming out of MAG going into semiconductors. If semis start to sell and fail to break here, and MAG stays heavy at PDL, PDC, I'll be interested in the sell. We have caught big buyers up here early morning. I would have liked it a little bit higher, but we did come in towards value area high for the current week. Here's the New York Open. I'm going to see if pops start to fail now. MAG getting absolutely clobbered here. I want to be involved in this. It's just not popping up at all. If we can retest 30-ish and fail, I'm interested in trying to sell this. I really hope it doesn't rotate all the way down without me. You know, it's going to do that. Well, if any of you got it when I said might be looking for this failure up here, well done. You need to be covering some now into previous day value area high and then gap fill. I'm looking for a pop up here to fail at the moment. I'm looking to see if we come up into this and then sell it back down, potentially to here, potentially all the way down to here. If we rotate value, you must pay yourself into here. So let's see if they pop this up and fail right now. Here it comes, semis breaking out. Waiting to see if buyers get caught here. There is some aggressive buying here. Semis breaking out through new highs. I'm just waiting at the moment. I want to see the shift on the tape if they're going to do it. Rotation continuing, MAG weak, semis breaking. All right, small short position in there, just a starter, because I don't like what the semis are doing. They've got to trade back inside and we'll get going. Yeah, it's better from semis. They can't hold this bid here at 52s though. If they do, we're going back to highs here, so just be careful with your position. But I am in short side here. I want to see us break underneath New York Open. There's the hold on semis. Still sat in this for now, but it is dangerous with semiconductors. We need these guys to break down on semis. Good, much better. Semis trading inside. Right, we need a new low here because we did have sellers at the lows, and then we're going to go for value area high and then gap fill. Beautiful. This is the key level where sellers got stuck. Beautiful, really nice. All right, let's see if we can trim some in towards 70s. We've got Globex here. If we get down to the 70s, then under 70s, we're looking for gap fill, which is yellow lines. This is what we literally just drew out and talked about. Can we get down towards previous day value area high now, down here, and then down here? We've literally just went over this trade. There's lots of liquidity sat here, so if you have enough size, you can cover some here. I'm not really sized up enough yet. But we must respect this area. You probably want to trim some in here to here. All right, and then be prepared if they recover it. And if they let go of it, we get lucky, we get a full rotation of value. All right, back to previous day point of control. That would be really nice. It's just semis that are making this a little tricky because MAG is bleeding. So we expect a pop on MAG soon back towards 68, and we'll see if they sell that into VWAP on MAG. So if I show you this, all right, there's the semis, there's the MAG, there's the IGV. I expect MAG to pop soon and then try and be sold into. Back to my entry here. This guy here making life a little bit tricky right now. All right, MAG's going to come up to 68 here, and I need to see it fail. If we break VWAP here, I'm out. Amazon complete dump early. Well, it's actually Meta, mate, that's doing the damage. Meta's 1.5% down. Microsoft 1% down. Tesla 0.82% down. Amazon's only 0.21% down. Google's trying to go red to green at the moment. All right, it's actually Meta and Microsoft that are doing the damage here in the mags. Semis are holding on very, very, very well here, though. Right, here's the move to 68 on mags. Now, they can come up a little bit higher, and then I would expect them to get stuffed. And if they don't get stuffed, then they're going to take my stop here at VWAP, which is fine. And then we're going to travel all the way up here. Nice. So semis have done a failed breakout now, but they're still holding New York open. It's looking better here. We just need semis under New York open, and we need mag to reject these sort of 68-ish level. This is looking a bit better. Previous day open here again. See if we can travel down. Really nice. All right, I'm still looking for those targets into value area high. I need to see us get under 200 here. There is a seller down here at 200 who is a little bit caught. All right, so if you haven't taken a partial when you want to, that is an area to take something in. All right, good rejection of 68 on mag. Semis right at VWAP New York open. This is all about them now. Good. Come on, get under 200 and flush it. Come on. Beautiful. Now, value area high, please, from yesterday. Good. Much better. Let's fucking go. See if we can get this blue line here. Don't be a dick for a tick, and then we're looking for yellow. Nice. Beautiful. All right, covering some here on that flush. And the next targets are yellow line. So covering some into here, into 70s. Next target after that is gap fill 140s. And then we'll see if we get to 80s and a full value rotation down to 33s. You must be paying yourself something here. Okay, you absolutely, crucially have to pay yourself some money here. We are underneath Globex. We're at previous day value area high. If they want to bid this out here, they can. Here we go. Beautiful. All right, let's see if we can get the gap fill now into yellow line. Really good. Semis turning now, so everything's lining up. Semis starting to turn with the rest of the market. We have Confluence here. All right, hopefully we can get a gap fill now. Nice start to the day here. Really nice start to the day. So we were looking for that drive back after we saw the morning sell. We don't chase the sell. The drive back in. There's the liquidity build out. There's the failure. Here's our covering point 1. This is covering point 2. This is covering point 3. And beyond that, if we got very lucky, we get value area low, previous day low. But we are going to pay ourselves here, folks. All right, make sure you paid yourself something here. All right, semis coming back to that New York open, New York VWAP. And if they get back through that, then we move back upside on the semis. Just going to sit in this. Sorry, folks. All right, here's semis back through that New York open. Still sitting in this reduced size, obviously, because we hit TP1. But no reason to cut the rest of this yet. It's all about the semi. Semi squeezing back up towards higher day now. So mag's going to come back up to 68. Semi's on this little squeeze out. This is all about semiconductors now. Are they going to complete a breakout through higher day? If so, my stop's going to get taken on the runner. If not, then they're going to fail to break again and we're going to wash back down. All right, so these just caught a bid very quickly. There you go. So look at the strength. Semis versus everything else right now. Semis on the bid. And we did say we need to be willing to potentially be long here today, but we haven't retested yet. I don't like the look of the market for a long right now this morning. So we're in short. We're holding our position. We've paid ourselves some. And if we move lower, great. And this, I'm watching now for alignment, whether mag starts to flush lower here or not. Semis look very strong here. So again, my runner stop is just up at this VWAP up here. If we break through that, I'll be done with it. Still rejecting this level up here in New York Open. If we form a higher low down here in front of this shelf 190s now, I'll take it off altogether. Trying to let it work. All right, watching this now. If they hold this 200 to 190s, I'll probably be done with it. Semi-tight day, mag new lows. So the rotation's definitely here, present this morning. All right, semis high of day, mag new lows, IGV new lows, so you can see where the money's going. If semis fail to break out here like they look like they might, then we might get this move for our next TP, which is why I'm trying to let it work at the moment. If we hold this down here though, all right, do you know what? I'm moving my stop break even now. In fact, I'm going to move it positive. I'm going to protect 215s now on the stop. Given it enough time, if they set the high low here and semis break, then this will move higher. So stops now at VPOC 215s. Opening range now set. Semis look like they want to break out higher. I expect my stop to be taken here. There we go. All right, done with it. That's the first trade done. They put in the high low. We're done with it there. If they fucking Alex trade me first thing in the Monday morning, I'll be very upset. Fucking hell, mate. It's 15 minutes into a new week and you mother cluck. Fuck me. Oh, new week, same bullshit. Monday mornings, eh? All right, you can see at the moment, value buyers are trying to protect previous day's value. Same as they're coming back down to VWAP again. All right, so they failed to break out again up here. They're coming back inside again. They look like they were going to scream higher. So this is the area now. If they lose value, right, we've been short up here this morning. This is where I was short up here. All right, we were short here. We were covering some here. They've created a big D now. Now, the opportunity here is for this and this, or a look below and a reclaim and a rotational move back up. All right. So if you're still in this, your next target is 140. You have to have been paid. You're paying yourself some here. You have your opening range low here. You have delta divergence at the low here, and you have previous day value area high here. Now, if we lose value, maybe I'll try and get involved. At the moment, you can see it's being bid. It is being bid, this value area. Where is my fucking... Sorry, folks. I just realised, where is this gone? My delta's gone. Where have you gone? There you are. I can say. Oh, you had one underneath. You just deleted it, did you? Weird. There we go. Doesn't look very smooth. Something's gone wrong. It's weird. All right, a protected value again there. D-shaped rotation here. Semi's back to high of day. Mag's coming back to that 68. That's still its over-under at the moment. Back to midpoint here. There's Semi's back to higher day. Back to this New York Open and VWAP. Kind of surprised semis haven't pushed for previous day high here and just swept all the liquidity and got going. Value is being protected, so no doubt buyers are stepping in down here at the moment. All right, there is absolutely no doubt about it. They're stepping in down there at the moment. Is this just a weird morning session? Is that why we're getting this weird print down here? It might be. All right, back to value area high. And there you go. Semi's now breaking out. All right, so they're going to look for previous day high here on semis, 154s. And if they get through that, a little zoom out here, 160s would be on deck. Mags back to these 68s. So we've held value and they might start shoving it. If they can break and hold above here, all right, they're going to have to get back inside 270, 285. That's top side of the market right now. If they get back inside that, they can look for higher prices. If they can't get back inside of that, what we're looking at, remember, is on the H1, and this is always my guide. I'll bring this up for you at the moment. Currently, we're protecting previous day's value area. That's previous day's value area. We're currently protecting it, but we can't get back inside this failed breakout for overnight. So we failed this, we came down, we found a bid, we're coming back up. We're building out in here. The question is, do we rotate yesterday's value? Do we bid and hold above for that move to 300 to 400 to 500? That's the question the market's posing. At the moment, we are building out liquidity in this range, just like we did on Thursday last week. At the moment, there's no acceptance back inside here where they trap buyers. That can change, but for now, that is something we're seeing. There's also no acceptance into Friday's value. SPY is 0 line right now. Oi. So I'd say here up to 280 is where we failed to break out overnight. And it's here we go. So now semi's finally doing it. They're coming for previous day highs. So I was saying, I was kind of surprised they hadn't already done it. Up to top side of this range. There are buyers caught at the top side of this range at the moment from earlier in this morning. ES still red on the day. Underneath it's open. SPY still can't get through its 0 line. So I'm just like having a look around at the moment, see what's going on. Give you a readout in the mag. Tesla 0.37% down, Nvidia 0.41% up, Microsoft 1.84% down, Meta 1.5% down, Google 0.25% down, Amazon 0.09% down, Apple 0.09% up. All right, so semi's holding the bid, everyone else is weak. That's the story that you have this morning. IGV also weak here this morning. Let me see what chat's saying. I haven't been reading you this morning. Why would you sell at value area low? Everything else is bullish. Price didn't even break below value area low. I didn't sell at value area low, mate. What are you talking about? I don't know if that's directed at me. We sold here and we covered there. I didn't sell down there. Not sure what you're talking about right now. Maybe that was at someone else. Currently flat, waiting because we're just starting to churn. Have I tried using the expected move tool? Well, I couldn't find it this morning. I was waiting for them to update Tanuki. Is it a separate tool? Is it a whole separate tool? Let me have a look on Tanuki. Maybe it's in their Discord. There's a whole separate tool. Maybe that's what I was waiting for. Let me... Did they post it in Discord? Can't see it. Which... where did they post it, bud? Which, like, room? Which sub-room, if you know what I mean? It's on their trading view page. What, so I can just load it up from here? Tanuki... Which one is it? Oscillator, overlay, profile. I can't see it. It's not separate. I know it's on their web. I think you guys are confused. It's always been on their web app. They were introducing it into the trading view indicator this week. Hey, darling. I'd love a coffee, please. Yeah, I need one today. Thanks, sweetheart. It's called 0DTE options implied expected move. Oh, I just had a look there. It should be showing here if it is. Maybe TradingView's not updated it yet. I can find it on their website. Invited only. Okay. Aha! I got it. Thank you, my friend. That worked. God, that's a bit much. I'm gonna have to fix that. So I'm guessing purple's dynamic, like they normally have. Oh, I don't like that. That's way OTT. Jesus Christ. Do you know what we can do? I'm going to put that on a different screen because that is booking overkill, mate. All right, that's better. It's better on the hourly. It's better on the hourly. I can see it properly there. Easier reference. Why did we not long previous day value area high? You could have, my friend. You could have. It was one of the pre-market plans, but I was already short in it, and so I was trying to give it a chance. All right, if we think about this, we went over that pre-market. All right, so we could have held previous day value area. What we've seen this morning is this and a hold. Right, we could have held previous day value area high. The problem with that move at the moment is the mags is getting absolutely whacked. Right, semis are the only thing holding this up. Right, so mag continues. If we come into the 930 prints, this makes sense. The mag is continuing to be sold off at the moment, as is IGV. All right, so we would have been long just on one beneficiary. It's possible, but remember, I was short here, and I was covering into this level, and I was trying to give it a chance to see if it would break down lower, and then I moved my stop into here. So once it comes here, I can't get long, can I? Because I haven't got position. So because I'm already in a trade, you could argue, well, you should have got out all and got long all. Well, yes, but then I'm not really giving myself a chance to see if they do want to break down, which they didn't want to do. So if I wasn't already in this trade, then reality is I probably would have longed here, risking this, and I'd be TP1 here, and I'd be TP2 up here. But you know, I was already in something. You can see we're just churning, and we expect this. All right, just remember that we do expect this. Given the size of that breakout last week, we are going to need to build up some liquidity. The main thing that we went over pre-market was there was a failed breakout overnight. All right, it doesn't mean it can't move higher, but that was the case, and it's very possible this market comes for a back test towards 30,000 to 29.9 this week first. All right, because we've done three attempts high and off for a while now in the top of that channel. If you go back to the beginning of today's video, it's very, very possible this market needs to come in. All right, mag, new lows again. All right, so I'm going to just pull you over here and so you can see what's happening right now. When alignment comes, this can shift quickly. All right, mags is just constantly drifting lower. Semis, all right, are finding the bid and trying to break out. This is previous day high up here, and software is also just drifting lower but starting to base down here now. One sec, we got. Thank you. Semis making it harder? Yeah, I mean, we're in a rotational market at the moment. And it's going to happen for a little bit. We've talked about it many times. I would say, though, if we keep getting stuffed up here, right, if we can't get above this, which is where we were short earlier today, you can see this level here, right? I'd say from here to here is where buyers are trapped over this, right, overnight. And we keep stuffing this, we can keep rotating back down. The weakness will come in this move here. At the moment, buyers absolutely are defending this, but you just wonder, the reason being, we can just come to this, just make it really easy. Right, who's caught right now? Right, buyers that bought up here, right? These guys are caught, so we're trading back down to here. If we lose this bid, we trade back down to the underside of this, right? And then we make a decision. Is it here? Is it this? We don't know, but what we do know is these guys overnight are currently stuck, and mags is not looking very good for them. And semis now are failing and coming back down in, and we now have alignment. And if semis let go of this breakout point, if they can't hold 52s to 5150s, they're going to be in trouble. All right, so we just rotated value again. So this D shape, we're in a big D shape here on a Monday morning. All right, so we're just rotating. We're rotating. Can I draw it for them? No, you don't want to let me do it. There we go. We're rotating this, aren't we? Thoughts on lower day? It doesn't look like the best auction down there. Let me zoom in. Look, well, we have. What the fuck have I just done? We have excess under 190, so it is all sell side from 190 to lower day. There was a big buy that came in, but it's actually not too bad. It is after he put in a low on that delta candle at 940. Yeah, 940. So at the moment, all right, this is all sell side down here. There was a big buyer, but he's not actually at the lows. He's after we've already put in a peak formation low. So value is holding for now. You can see there's no acceptance under 190 to 170 right now. That can change, but that's the story right now. We're still trading within the 15-minute opening range, right? So here's your open range. VWATs are flat. Flow zones are flat. D-shaped profile. No acceptance under here. No acceptance above here right now. That's the story. So you're either shorting the highs, maybe you're brave enough to bid the lows. I'm not brave enough to do that right now. Or you're just flat like I am. Remember, we made money. Nice early trade this morning. We've made some money. Just relax. Congrats on the community shield. Yeah, thanks, man. I'm not so bothered about the trophy, but what I am happy about is how we played. We played some of the best football I've seen for ages. It was nice, like, see Bruno come in for Rice and like know that Rice can have some games off and rest a little bit. I thought Solis was amazing on the left, looked really good. Two assists in his first like really competitive game. Do I reckon we still need a top striker? I think we'd run away with the league if we did, but we don't. So we'll just have to see. You know, maybe second year in they can start firing up front, but we'll see. I thought defense and mid looked really good, really, really good. Calafiori looks back to his best again. Yeah, Raya had a good game. City looked awful, by the way, for any of you City fans. You guys looked awful. That's not me being an asshole. I don't know if you're all knackered or don't know how to play under the new coach. But like Semenyo on the right looked completely lost. Your defense was woeful. I know it's just Charity Shield, but opening games in 5 days, I would be somewhat concerned. Maybe it was all fluff and that they're going to come and play amazing football, but it didn't look like the Pep team of old. Let's just say that. I'd be slightly concerned. And I know that feeling. Like all the big clubs, if you've watched football long enough, you know that feeling when you've been one of the top teams in the league and then your manager leaves. It's normally volatile for a good 3 seasons. The only team that didn't have that was Liverpool, and all they had was delayed volatility. They had 1 season where they carried on, and then last year they were shite. So it's hard, man. It's hard when it's the change of infrastructure and stuff. All right, coming back down to this value area high again. Mags is still bleeding. Semis are coming back into this key level. Like I said, if semis can't hold 52s to 51.50-ish, 51.30s, they will be in trouble. I still think gap fill is possible here. If we start popping and failing, I will watch this. If we start popping and failing and I see buyers come in here and not get their way, I will watch this. There's your value area high again, so buyers still defending that. If we lose that, the gap fill is going to come. Let's see. That was probably the lot. We just missed it. It's flushing. It's gone. I can see them on the tape chasing it down now. This is what I was trying to position for first time round. And you will get gap fill now, I would have thought. Here we go. Semis into VWAP. They failed to break out over highs. You're starting to see alignment come in now. Look at this. Alignment starting to take place now. We'll see. Buyers will want to trap more sellers down here, and they need to recover 190s pretty quickly here to give themselves a chance to come back inside the range. I'm not in because I've missed the opportunity in my mind. But if we squeeze up here and there's some passive selling and buyers can't get back inside, I'll be a little bit interested. Semi's holding that 151.50s back to 152s. And the question now is, do they go back in D or are they just rejected here? I don't really want to sell it down here. The sell was where I had it this morning. It was up here, but based on the H1. Well, while we're getting through this, I should say some of the sales that are taking place, because surprise, surprise, like we said, my funded futures changed the game a bit and people are moving to daily payout. So Lucid now has a daily payout plan. It's a 3-day pass. It's like Take Profit Trader. It is trailing drawdown in your sim funded account. So they have a sale on for that right now. Code FZT at Lucid. And to combat that, Take Profit Trader have put a 50% sale on and moved to a 3-day pass for a limited time only. Code FlowZone over there at Take Profit Trader. So it's a good time to be a prop trader because we have prop trading wars right now, and that means we're getting competitive products, which is great. Okay, value holding again, back inside the D. Semi's holding the bid. Rotation starts again, back inside. Here's your New York Open again. Not much to do here. Somewhat surprised they didn't just fill the gap and complete it. Would have made more sense to me if they'd done that and then they'd made no reason to come lower at all. ES holding at 0 print. SPY holding a bid at P2 right now. That bid on semis, geez Louise. They're literally controlling this market right now. It's the only thing finding a bid. Could fall asleep. Other than that first trade, there's been nothing to do. Are we going to go and clean up those lows and fill the gap now? Or are you just going to hold value and put in a higher low down here now? New York open rejection, back down towards value area low. I'm somewhat surprised we haven't filled the gap, like in this move here, and then recovered it, because then there's no reason to go lower and buyers can like confidently take control. All this is right now, I'm going to show you just so you can see what's going on. It's this guy. I don't know what this is. Let me just, I don't have this on my other order. Fuck off. What is that? It's an old level. All right. Each one is holding this level. That's where we're stuck. Here's your morning pivot. Right. That's your demand. Early morning. They are trying to do this. And the rest of the market ain't really interested in joining in right now. What did we say this morning? We fail this, we come to mid, we fail this, we come to this. All right, we sweep this. Pressure can start, otherwise fail breakout, and we come back inside. There's your range on the mags. That's why I'm being very patient. I'm waiting for some form of alignment. I'm expecting this week to be a bit of a shit fest, given that it's OPEX. So yeah, only trade we've had so far today was this up here, and our best cover was value. That's it. That's all we've had so far. Where did I put my TP? Value area high. And then I got run out. If you remember, I moved my stop down into point of control. I think it was around here. I can't remember now. All right, so I gave it the second chance. Once we put in that higher low, I stopped out here, and then I haven't touched it since. That's been it. What I would say is if MAG doesn't break lower soon and they see compression there and that shorts don't get their way for the breakdown on MAG and that starts to squeeze them out and semis run previous day high, this will move higher because suddenly you're going to get a point of where the MAG gets relief upside and semis start to break out. I'm not saying that happens now. I'm saying if that happens, that will cause this move to come back to the upside. Border. So can I just like not fill this at all? That's a bit better. Does my VP use regular trading hours? The one on the screen, you mean? Yes, it's anchored to 9:30. So I'm only focused on the 9:30 print. Otherwise, I'm looking at this one. All right. That's since the Sunday open. So we're just rotating the same level. Now, what does Alex not really enjoy trading? Who's been here long enough to... What does Alex try and avoid trading? What are we in right now that I try to avoid trading as much as possible? It's just how I play. If you're a range trader, you should be having a lot of fun. Range, exactly. Range. That's why I'm sat still right now. We're developing liquidity. Higher time frame overall is bullish. In my mind, there is a strong possibility that this market might need to trap a lot more before we move upside. Now, it doesn't have to, but we are in definite rotation here. Mag's now trying to find a bid. Semi's getting weak. IGV finding a bid. They are washing machine this early week. All right. They're washing machine at early week. I'm surprised we haven't filled the gap, but we haven't. I'm not going to play and diddle in the middle here. We've had one winning trade. There is absolutely no reason to force our way on this market right now. I ever used ATAS for volume profile. I don't trade with ATAS, so I've never used it. I'm sure it's great, but I am an old man stuck in my ways, all right? I chart on TradingView and I execute and chart for myself on NinjaTrader. I just can't teach on NinjaTrader. It's not as good for teaching on. It's unfortunate, but if they improve that, it would be a different story. But it's a little bit clunky. We don't even have a Control Z on NinjaTrader. Can you imagine the amount of drawings that I would do, which would clog up the screen I couldn't get rid of? It's a nightmare. But yeah, I'm sure they're great. But I'm an old boy and I'm stuck in my ways. I don't want to learn a new system, a new piece of software anymore. Zed's dead. Anyone know that quote? It'd probably show my age. You broccoli bros probably don't know that quote. Who's Zed, baby? Zed's dead. Zed's dead, baby. Love that film. The broccoli bros, the bro callies. They had I went to post about them on Twitter, but I did it just for my Discord. They had an amazing weekend this weekend because if they went to Starbucks, they had a special unicorn frappuccino for the broccoli bros. How old am I? Well, in under 2 weeks, I'll be 41. Frappuccino. Oh my god, bro. Look at this Frappuccino. I can see a fair value gap in the Frappuccino. Oh my god, bro. Bro. Okay. I just wonder if we're going to gap fill here. Semis heavy back down to VWAP again. So they're chopping around. This is the second leg of the pullback. If they lose this pullback on semis, you're going to see weakness come into this market. I still think there is possibility to move down to here and here today if they're unwilling to hold value. Semis look weak here. Here's VWAP. If pops fail here, I will consider it because I think we can clean stuff up, but I would want to be very careful playing here. It's a very tough trade. The moment the range is holding. You can see there are bids down, all the way down towards that gap fill on Bookmap. So if they pop 190 to 200, we'll see. If they pop up there and then resell it, maybe I'll have a little go small size for the wash. Don't want to really get caught, so they're going to have to pop it up. Semi's holding that view up. They've gone from 24 out in New York. Comes the lift back to value. Here's 190s. This might be it. Looks like it's it. Not in there. That was it. And they should sell down to lows here now. If you are going to trade this lower, I'll tell you what, you want your stop like basically instantly into money if you're going to have a go at this. Because it's a very, very tough trade. Once you let go of value, you should get the gap fill. Here they come. If semis lets go of its 24-hour VWAP here and it goes New York Open, you're going to get that move to yellow line, and you must have wish orders out towards that yellow line. That was it. What did I say? 190s to 200. We tap 191s. All right. If they let go of this, your covers are down to 40s, and then your runners lower. And you need to move your stop into the money. Do not be chasing down here now. Your stop goes into the money, and you let this fade into 140. Here it comes. Fuck me, mate. Should have taken that 190, Alex. That was it. You even said it was it, and you didn't take it. You is a silly man, Alex, innit? Let me close these. Like I said, have your stop in the money. Don't be fighting it. Remember, this is a very hard... What you're doing here is positioning for continuation. There's no guarantee it comes. They should come and clean it up, but they don't have to do jack shit, right? But they should. You would expect them to come and clean it up, but they don't have to do anything. What you don't want to do is fight it, and if they get compression, then lift and you get caught, right? So it's a trade. You manage your risk. You have your stop in the money. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. You accept the outcome. Because if they keep holding value and they come back inside the D, it's a problem. You need this to stay heavy here. Right. This level here. You're going to let me draw, please? Right. You're looking for this trade here. If they hold this, they come back inside and they get compression up. That's it. So I'd be looking for this all the time. They're rejecting this in here. If they reclaim, you're going to be careful. And again, your alignment is here. You need this now to sell this back down on semiconductors. IGV's found a big bid. So your 190 to 200 is your level. Semi's holding 24 hour. They're back to New York. That's a good rejection up there on that 190 attempt. And you need mag to put in a new lower day here. And that will help you. And ideally, they don't just rotate these again for you guys. Again, I don't have a position in this. Just reading what I'm calling. So far, so good. What's this little shelf here? 195s. Where was that last big seller? 195s. Where's the buyer last caught? 200. Yeah, 90 to 200 is the level. Your entry needs to be there and your stop needs to be there. You got hooked on Yellowstone, aren't mate? I've got like 2 episodes left. And then I'll start doing, what's it called? 6666. The Texas one. It's so good, man. It's just Sons of Anarchy on horses. It's the same writers. It's Hamlet. It's modern Hamlet. Here you go, guys. So your yellow line's your cover. You should get a low of daybreak. Make sure you've got wish orders out right here for your covers. Hopefully it comes in for you. So this is here it comes. So this is the trade. I'm not in it, unfortunately, but this is the trade. I missed the opportunity. This is the trade here. The covers are down here. All right, this is what we've just called. Your stop should be break even or in the money. You do not want to keep seeing it be absorbed down here without filling that target. So you've got to be proactive in these trades. 1883 is great. Yeah, I've heard they're all really good. I will be watching them all. I've just got to finish Yellowstone first. All right, big seller caught at these lows. 269 lots sell at low of day. Just be aware of that. All right, so if they do turn it around without filling that gap, let me just check the cues. Just missed the gap fill by a small amount. We would like it to complete that gap fill. Mag, new low of day. Semis have recovered VWAP. I would definitely move your stop into the money here and hopefully this works for you. All right, so if you caught that entry up at 90s that first time round, just move your stop break even. And if you've covered some already, great. You don't want this recovering now. It's had the chance to move lower. If it recovers now, it's a failure to move inside of previous day's value. It's a shame we didn't hit that target down here, but there we go. He's a buyer now stepping up on the tape. He's trying to lift this market higher now. He's just come in with the 200 lot for the first time today, trying to force a higher low at value area high from Friday. He's right here now at 70s. So there's a 200 lot there trying to absorb the pressure. Now, if he fails or pulls, we'll retest that lower day. It'd be better if we fill him and trade under him. Here he is at 170. So we've got 2 lots of big sellers now at the lows. Let's see if buyers are willing to actually try and hold this. So between lower day and 70, you now got about 500 lot aggressive sellers down there who have been unable to move price lower yet. Just be aware of that. That would be like a flag to me saying, hey, we're not able to move lower right now. This is a problem. They've had two goes at it. and their big orders are, where was your order? What was your price? 60s. What was your price? In 70s. There you go. So buyers are absorbing down there. There are passive buyers between 60s and 70s so far. Remember, 90 needs to be your stop, or 90 to 200 needs to be your stop. That was your entry. It needs to be your stop. You do not fight this if they turn around, because it would be compression with a fail break lower. Am I looking at NQ or MNQ? I only look at the order book on NQ. It is absolutely pointless if you're going to look at the order book for MNQ, in my mind, my friend. Because what we are looking for when we're looking at the order book is what the dealers and market makers and big players are doing. And they will be trading mini contracts. They will not be trading micro contracts. They certainly will never be trading nano contracts. We want to watch the order flow where they are. Doesn't mean you need to execute that order flow. Frequently, I will be executing on MNQ, but I watch the NQ for my guidance. Right, some exhaustion at these lows so far from sellers. Remember, they are currently stuck at 160 and 170. Once you trade under 170, you're going to be back in the money with a value rotation lower possible. You should still be in this because we still haven't taken out 190 and 200. Your stop should still be up there. That should have been your entry. And you just have to hope we can get under these big players. If we're watching Bookmap right now, we need to see selling aggression to move under these guys. Where's my Bookmap gone? All right, this is the player that's stuck. You see this guy? 300 lot stuck at 170s and a 269 lot stuck at the lows. All right, we need to see price under this guy here. All right, so think about this. We've got about 500 lots between 70 and 60 aggressive sellers stuck. Once we get under there, they'll be in the money, and then we can try and get that move to previous day close. If we can't move under these two big players and the buyers keep absorbing this over and over and over again, compression can start, all right, because we've been trading lower, and they can start coming back up towards this 200 zone, right? 200 to 212s to test it, all right, which is what you're starting to see. Look, so they're forcing some covers here. These guys have got stuck at the lows, and we might see this lift towards the 200, and if they get through that, up towards 225s. So sellers got stuck down there. You don't see the seller at the lows. Literally. What's this then? It's right there, mate. Right? And he tried twice. And that. Right? He's right there. Is previous day value area high the whole day, or only New York? Only New York. How much do I pay a month for Bookmap? I don't know, mate. I have no idea. It's not expensive. Infinity, get out of it. Get out of it, mate. Are you a big enough boy then that you're manipulating the whole futures market, and then you're telling us that you're buying and you're selling on us like your mentor? Okay, guys, there's momentum pre-market. We're up 30% on garbage news. I'm long my whole account on my birthday. I'm up $1 million. I'm buying more, but really I'm actually selling into the liquidity that I built from this room. Why am I not longing here? I'm just not interested in this market right now, man. Like, I'm just not interested. Like, Mag's still making lower lows. We're still diverging from everything. Is there a long trigger back up? Yeah, there is, but I'm just not interested. I'm not interested in trading this range up here. I'm just not. Can it go to the top side of the D? Yeah, like, It can. Just like not, there's nothing here that's making me like really want to jump up. It's a C trade at best right now. I'd rather wait for at least a B plus of some sort. Later in the week, maybe we get an A plus trade, but I don't understand why this is fucking gone so shit. Top side of the D, yeah, may very well get there, but Mag's still making you lows, guys. Like the divergence is massive. Mag's making you lows. Semis is not making you highs, but it's trying to get up to this top side on semis. Right, IGV selling down. We're in a washing machine. We're in a washing machine inside a range with very small ATR for the session, with VIX traveling back upside over 15s. Like it's not like jumping out to me to be like trade. At some point, once they finish building liquidity, there'd be a nice trade. What would I need for an A plus? I would need higher time frame volume trapped. I would need us to move above or below that higher time frame volume that's trapped. I would need the market to move back in towards that area that they are trapped. All right, ideally on a 2-day range, and then I would need to see the market reject that lower time frame and go into a pro trend. And ideally, that trap volume is extended. That's the ideal scenario. So if we were looking for a short, I'm just going to come up here. Oh my God. Right, let's say we did like a 3-day push. 1, 2, 3, and then we trapped volume for a session or two. Okay, and then we gapped down, right? And we came back into there, right? And I know that we're heavily extended from any sort of support. Then in here, I'm looking for a sell higher time frame, which means lower time frame. I'm looking for something like this, and that would be my A plus trade back down. And you could just flip that on its head, all right? And that would be back down to a support system. Alternatively, if we were like bullish overall, right, and we'd come out of a base, let's say we built a base down here, all right, and then in that base we were low volume, all right, and we broke out higher, and then there was a pullback, and that was an extended move down, right? I'm looking for that move back up because I know all the sellers in here are caught, and we can move back up from that. That's sort of my A plus scenario. That's based on a daily and hourly kind of move. We have had that a few times this year. It's been very, very good. In fact, more than a few times. At the moment, if you zoom out of the hourly, we are certainly not in that. If we think about what we're doing on the hourly, right? We had it last week. Well, sort of, right? We were long this last week. This was a version of it. It wasn't super clean where we were long that day. Remember that day? We were big bullish long. Last week, we faded that and then we wanted to buy that back up. If we'd come back down into here a little bit deeper and it wasn't a Friday, right, that could have been a really good move back out. Now, all right, we're not extended from anything. This is where we are. That's my least favorite trade, all right? It's my least favorite trade. If we got panic into here and we trap sellers, that would be quite a nice trade. But the thing is, we've now built liquidity up here. So it's very possible we can do this week, right? If this was more extended up here into the weekly move, and then we went sideways and then we gapped down and we pushed into that, and there's probably a sell back down to there. That would have been really nice. Right, so it's all about positioning. Alex, what's the ticker name you checking for mags? I'm not sure if you're trolling or not because you just wrote it. You even wrote it in capitals. It's mags. It's mags. Am I still buying some stocks in this current market? Yeah, I've been bidding on a few things, but we're like, IGV's already done a big move. Semis have already rebalanced. 30 years still breaking out. Can break out further. Dixie's not really like truly flushed in. There's like, I'm iffy about putting too much more risk on yet. And obviously that print last week changed things a bit. We were looking at a rate hike next month. Now we're looking at a pause and a rate cut later in the year. And we'll see what the data comes with over the next few weeks. Why do I trade? Like, why do I not trade gold? Because I don't. Like, that's like saying to someone, why are you wearing that t-shirt and not this t-shirt? Because this is what I choose to do. It's, for me, NQ provides normally the most volatility for day trading, right? We like volatile indexes for day trading, right? I've learnt how NQ likes to trade. I'm in my comfort zone day trading NQ. I don't think it's the best swing trader. I do think it's a good day trader. That's why. It's like the penny stock of indexes, right? It's like a small cap of indexes. I know it's not a small cap, but it certainly trades like a small cap. And coming as a trader who came from small cap world, it makes the most sense to me. You want to switch from ES to Nasdaq? Just make the move then. Starting to see some compression here. You can see this LVN here. If they get back through this, they will try and get to highs. This, at the moment, is what sellers are protecting. Right, we see midpoint in the range. We're in a big D. It's just a rotational move. Sellers are trying to protect this to get back down to here. Buyers are trying to protect this to get back up to here. That's midpoint. You're at VPOC. This is the most traded level, not only today's session, also since the Sunday open. All right, basically around the 200. It's the most traded level. Have I ever bought trading courses? I've bought lots of trading courses, mate. Lots and lots and lots of trading courses over the years. Yes, most of them are absolute shite. But there were some good takeaways from some of them. Lots of them was good information in, but the trader was exceptional, but the teaching was not very good. That was, I'll give you an example of that. I did Stephen Dux's course, and Stephen's one of the most phenomenal small cap traders on the planet. He's a great trader. There's absolutely no question of a doubt. Dux is a phenomenal trader. The course, however, is poor. Now, maybe because English isn't his first language, could be a number of things, but like it just lacked, I don't know, just it wasn't a great course. But he's a phenomenal trader. So like it doesn't mean if a course is poor, it doesn't mean that they're teaching bad things. It can just mean like the pedagogy, the way of teaching, the formula of teaching, or the ability to explain his mindset or in his process can be poor, right? I compare that to like Tim Grattini's course. That was pretty good. I saw you were mentioned and recommended an order flow trader. IG, amazing, Alex. People are getting it. Yeah, I see that too. I see a few of them. Someone commented in one on me and was like, check out Flow Zone Trader, and I wrote back saying the only one to look at in that whole. They put a list of 5 people. 4 of them were complete bullshit frauds. One of them's the best trader in the world. I was like, just ignore the other ones. Like, how can you put TJR and fucking Broccoli Boys in the same category as someone like Fabio? It's just amazing to me. Like, it's amazing to me how people think. Brandon, 2 Lucid, 1,200, 1 trade day passed, 5 legend accounts passed, 2,795. Nice, mate. Nice work. Off to do some work. Thank you. You're welcome, buddy. Thanks for the coffee. The chop's brutal. Well, we're holding value now, and it's trying to get up to the upside. I don't think it's like the worst chop in the world. It's doing what it should be doing. It's just like I just don't want to trade it. It's just a choice. Once we held down here, come back to midpoint. It's trying to get to top side. If it accelerates through here, it tries to get to higher day, but this is midpoint of your range right now. Just be willing to sit still. It's a Monday morning. You got the whole week ahead of you. Right, we've had one nice trade here. I didn't take this, but some of you might have taken it. Maybe it was a break even for you. Maybe some of you got a bit of money off. I don't know, but that's it. That's all I'm looking for. Maybe some of you took the long the other side of it. I'm just not interested right now in the market. It will perk my interest once it's finished building liquidity. It will perk my interest. Mag is trying to turn around. Mag's going to come and tap into 67.70s up towards 67.80s, and if it then puts in a higher low after coming to that, maybe this market starts to go upside. And then if we get some form of alignment, right, if these are going to start doing this with this and this, then maybe I'm going to be more interested in this market in general. Did I look that Rips was looking to hire another trader to stream with? Well, it seems like they're all doing that now. I mean, let's just face it, all right? It's basically prop firms against individual traders. The first individual trader who did what prop firms do, because remember, prop firms, a lot of them provide at least all the way through New York session and beyond. The first trader to do that is probably the number one in terms of content. Not necessarily the best content, but the amount they puts out is PW, right? PW is the first to hire someone for New York session, then he's hired someone for Asia session, I think, and I don't know, or London, I don't know. But he was the first one to do it, and then suddenly now everyone's doing it. That ain't for me. Each to their own. You do what you need to do. I trade my own way. I don't want to hire someone who might trade differently. I'm not really interested in trying to compete or anything with those guys. Like, nice shirt. It's my Apex shirt. Bella sent me this. I will be meeting up with them the first week of September as well. They're coming to California. Meet with them. Alex, even though we're looking at the M1 chart, would you say we're making lower highs and lower lows? Well, yes, but you have to understand what we're doing. Yes, all right. If we go from this open, this is the structure, isn't it? But we are still protecting value. All right. So yes, but this is where you can see compression. The failure to break down under value, the failure to find acceptance back inside previous day's value. All right. If they keep bidding this, the compression starts because shorts keep trying to get this move and they can't get it. And this is where you see squeeze relief start. This is like the exact pattern where they fail to break down lower, they protect a low, and they start to come up. Like, it's why I'm not interested in anything right now. And semis are now at high of day, and mags is at low of day. All right, so like this is just like the rotation. All right, semis are at high of day, mags are at low of day, IGV's near low of day. It is a rotation. We'll see what semis do here at previous day high, whether they hold this break. For me, there is nothing in here which is making me want to click buttons right now. It's that simple. You move to gold due to range. Yeah, it's fine. You guys do what you need to do. I'm quite happy to sit here. If it means not another trade today, it means not another trade today. I don't care. I think something will set up. I just think it's going to require some patience. Right, here goes semis through previous day high. Now, what's the next level they can look at? Let me just zoom out of this on an hourly for a second. Where's your next pivot, my sir? 58s and then 60s. So we'll see if it's a failed breakout or a squeeze and continuation here. SpaceX short from 150. I don't know. I've been long in it and I'm down to small size. We sold last week. We traded it in Discord together. So we held the teens, we pushed up, we based over 130, we squeezed up to 150. This is your sort of over-under. It's starting to become very much like Tesla in the way it trades. And remember, the float's still small. It's bigger than it was, but we've still got 2 more releases for that float increase. I'm certainly not, for me, it's not something I'm holding long term as an investment yet. It was a tradable move from that sort of capitulation move into the day where the float got big. All right, I can show you my thought process on that for those of you who are interested. It's very clear. The day the float got big, we didn't move lower, and that was the key here. I'll show you. Without giving too much away. Okay, here, SpaceX. Now on watch for me, given the volume increase. All right, so big volume traded that day. 130 is still the big level. I'd love it lower. But if we start paying more attention to it now, the first round of insiders are free to sell. If we don't move lower, that's the sign that MMs are willing to absorb. And that's exactly what happened. The day the float got made bigger because insiders could sell, we didn't move lower, which means market makers or big players were willing to buy. That's when we started to buy dips. Okay, and then we talked about it here. Up on this, grab some. I'm not sized. If we hold 127 to 130 next week, I'll be looking to add if we're willing to base. And this is what we now have. All right, we've now had that move. And then last week, watching 135 to 150. Tomorrow on SpaceX, we'll trim it and use it as a trade, as I want to see if we base. And then here again, this was on the 12th. Transparency, I just had a fill on partial SpaceX up to 148. It's been a nice trade. I don't have conviction to hold this long term yet until we're through all the lockouts, but a nice swing there. Got about 22% of the move out of it. Remember, we're looking at 11% a year as a beat on the indexes. All right, so that's it. It's a nice trade. It was a very obvious trade for that move. Can it go higher? Yes. Do I care? No. No, I do my weekly newsletter myself. I do it on Friday afternoons. I hate Fridays because I end up trading with you guys, having to plot all my levels for the next week, doing that weekly newsletter, which takes a lot of time. I'm exhausted by the end of it. All right, new lower day mags coming into its put wall level 2. New high of day semis. We are in that washing machine. And this is why we're not really going anywhere. So if you were long down here, you want to be trimming some into the top side of this range where we are now, 24-hour VWAP up towards 230s. If we can break out of that range, maybe we get going for the day. But I would say we still have overnight buyers caught. There's this LVN, 270 and above. So if you see acceptance back inside 270, maybe you can get through that overnight volume. Yeah, exactly, Murph. That's exactly it. That's the rotation. That's exactly it, my friend. Buy one, sell the other. Buy one, sell the other. Sell one, buy the other. And the good thing for the big players is the longer that they can do that for, this is what you have to understand. If we're in a market, forget these levels. I'm just going to draw this out. If we've been in a market that's moved higher, all right, because this was the point where we were in pro trend, where the mags and the semis and IGV all caught a relief, right? If we're up here and they want to go sideways to do this, right, for that ambition to break higher, what they can do is sell this, buy this, sell and buy this, and then buy this, sell and buy and sell this, right? And this will keep us in this higher time frame. And then if and when they're ready, if the pro trend starts again where they all lift, then they've built out sufficient liquidity to lift. It's very, very clever. It's very, very clever how they can do that. All right, so you came to top side of the range, you couldn't break through it, you're going to come back down to point of control now, and you're going to have to see if they bid these sort of 200s and point of control. There is an unfinished auction right now at 91s. Semis are coming back to that previous day high. If they trade under initial balance previous day high, it'll be a failed breakout. Mag still has not turned around yet. Well, while I'm waiting, I'm going to post up some of the new prop firm stuff so that you guys are ready for it. Because I've got bugger all else to do right now. Sitting still. I'm certainly not going to trade POC. Sorry, guys, I can't control the market. It's just a slower day. It is what it is. Don't stress about it. Tell you what, that take profit trader sale is actually really good, because the worst thing about take profit is probably the 5-day pass. 3-day pass is so good. I wonder if they'll leave that long term. I know in an interview they talked about potentially leaving it. Five days puts you off. Yeah, that's it. That's what I mean. Like, for a lot of people, that's the put off, right? So they've got 3 days up now. Code flow zone for that, folks, if you're interested. I will stick it in Discord for you guys so you've got it all as well. Regularly told off for not doing enough for these. I'm the worst, man. I'm probably one of the worst influencers and one of the worst guys on social media. Just, I'm sorry. I hate that stuff, man. It just reminds me of everything I hated from DJ world. You book a gig. Hey, can you promote this gig? Can you post this? Hey, can you push this? Can you push this new single? Hey, can you post your remix? Can you? Oh, fuck off! I just want to be in the studio. It's like one of the things I hated about the industry. It all became about social media. Can you do this? And can you do this? And then do this? No, I don't want to. You're a fucking giant Universal Music. Hire someone to do it. I don't want to do it on my channels. Showing my age. Grumpy old man. He's just a grumpy old man. True. I am. It's true. It's true. Okay, they held the bid. They come topside again. Rotation's still happening. Mag's starting to find a bid now on P2. It is due some relief. Semi's continuing to break out new high days here. And on the H1, yeah, it's sort of say 280s. It can get up to 280s possibly up here if it can really get going. It's all going to depend on these semiconductors. Can it get up to 280s? So you want to trim some. If you've been long in Q from down here, you want to trim some here. This is the start of the compression, and the squeeze can start now. And do you know what? If we measure this out, there you go, 322s. And if we just do the opening range, it's probably a bit less. Yeah, you might get the squeeze now. I'll be watching that move into 280s. Sorry, I'm just watching the shelf. Shelf here at 250s, then another shelf at 266s, and then 280s. So shelf here at 250s, then 266, then 280s. Semi ticker SOXX. Nick, Mr. Old Grumpy Man, thanks to you, I got my first payout today. Hey, nice, Nick. Great work. Lovely work. All right, Mag's now finally finding a bid off put level 2. We'll see if we put in a high low on the Mags, and if semis are willing to hold the bid over previous day high. If they do, the squeeze can continue here, and we'll see if we're going to hold this bid here now. And this is the kind of zone where we keep rejecting from. Not Thursday last week, Friday last week, and overnight we lost the bid here. I'm watching the H1, so if like I was long, I'd be trimming some here, right? Just think about this. This is obviously a key level. All right, because we sold from it, we sold from it, we sold from it, we sold from it, we bid from it, we bid from it, we sold from it this morning. This is a big level here. And if you've been long, you want to trim some into this level, because if they do want to set a lower high here, this is where they're going to do it, right? And then you go back into the rotational move. Now, what happens now if semis sell off back into the range, but mags bid? That's what I'm interested in. Like, how do they position this index for that? Let me check my swings here for a second. Let's see if there's anything triggered. Who's hood trading at today? Nice. So far, have you come back in? Another 1% up on SoFi. I'm interested in adding some on SoFi because I think there's a catch-up trade. I'm already up about 16.5%. If we can give a little bear trap on SoFi and absorb, I'm interested in a long. I think it's deeply undervalued. And XLF is broken out. And then once we squeeze through 20s, we get going. This would be the second attempt we would have had at this trade this year. We've made good money off SoFi this year, but I just wonder, is it ready? I'm already positioned long in it. I'm just considering, do I want to add in it? Adobe as well. Do I want an add in Adobe? Get this up. Sorry, folks. While the market's quiet, it's a good time for me to just check out what's going on elsewhere. What are you coming down to here, son? Yeah, I've got an old gap fill, unfortunately, down to 22s. I will watch Adobe into 40s if we hold. I'm already long in it. But if I see absorption down there, I might put a bit more risk on because it's starting to prove itself. Depends how much IGV wants to come in as an index, I think. I'd love a bid on DRAM if it comes back down to earth as well. All right, here goes semis, continuing to break out. And we'll see now if they can get right the way up into these targets here. So the squeeze on semis, 58 to the next target, and then 160 on the SOXL. Mag's now starting to turn around off the lows, and if that finds relief while the semi squeeze, then this thing can rip up higher. But we are into these kind of H1 levels now. Previous day high is up here at 82s, right? So you're into target zones here, right? This red line is your previous day high. Here to here, you want to be trimming and then just holding like 20% to see if we do climb inside of overnight range. So value got absorbed today. And this is what we went over pre-market. It is impressive that they held that and didn't fill the gap. I'm pretty impressed. All right, this is where we are. We held value, this blue line. We're drifting up towards red box, right? Which is up here. I don't think it would get that high today. It's got to first get through these H1 levels, which we're into now, and it's already struggling a little bit. Just here for the Tyson trade. Well, look, remember there's two sides of Tyson. So if Tyson wants to go into expansion today for the squeeze, then the target will be up here, which will be near overnight highs, that kind of level. Market is due some relief here. Like I'm looking at ES thinking this thing can give a squeeze higher here. It's been walked down all morning. It's finding a higher low now. There's been compression here. Here's previous day high. So this is your TP. And then after this, you're really holding runners to see if it can find acceptance higher now. And that's it. Now starting to bid. Look at semis. Look at that bid on semis. Someone just woke up. There's the bid on semis. This is now starting to bid, as is this. And this is where the squeeze can start to happen. these get relief, well, this thing's going turbo. It's coming in towards the 58s now. It's trading it towards 57s, 58s, and then 60s is the cool wall on semiconductors today. You don't have the balls for the expansion model. I don't blame you, mate. But there's the compression. Do you remember we talked about this? Someone asked about the lower highs, and I said, yeah, but we're failing to break under here. This is where the sellers get stuck at the lows, and then the compression, and now the relief. And it's just a question of how many sellers there were stuck here and how high they want to give it relief for. Is there anyone up higher? 400. Is there anyone at 5s? A little bit. All right, so really now it's a question of IB hold or IB fail. You got 20% of position left from previous day value area high. Nice. Yep, that's perfect, mate. So you can afford to sit in it. All right. Now, what I would say is you'd want it. All right. Even it depends how much you're willing to give back. But you're positioned long from here. You want this now to hold, don't you? Because that's the compression. Look how we squeezed above this. All right. This needs to hold for the day. If you lose this, don't hold on to the longs because then you're going to come back down inside. But if you're willing to hold either initial balance or down here towards 40s, right, then you're good to hold that 20% just in case, right, they do this move today. There you go. Stop at 220s. Nice, Wesley. Yeah, perfect. Perfect. I think you could be more aggressive than that if you wanted. I think you could move it a little bit higher, but it's up to you based on, I don't know how big a size you're trading. So do whatever you're comfortable with. But either way, it's a winner, right? You've made your money. You got 20% left. You now give it a chance to see if it can do an expansion. All right, here's initial balance. There are some imbalances under here into 60s. 60s down to 58s. All right, so we have some imbalances from the squeeze up, which are starting to be filled to the downside. This is the first bunch of them here where we're starting to find a bid early. And we can see if we come back down to 40s, I will watch this market as we come in there to see who's on the tape and how they look, to see if a bid starts to develop or not. They're filling these imbalances now. Semi's pulling back, mag's starting to pull back. And this is what I was talking about on the H1. This is the danger of the H1. If I show you the H1 now, you're going to understand what the bloody hell I've been talking about. All right. This is the H1. Let's take this off because this new indicator is very messy. All right. This is where we saw the rejection. Do you remember how many times we talked about that? Resistance became support. Funnily enough, it's become resistance again. All right. So very clear and obvious level. What we have now are buyers trapped above it. Now we get inside this, you get that big expansion mode. But that's why I was saying you got to trim most of your money here. Hopefully you guys understood, learned something. What are my thoughts on trading stock below the zero gamma line? 209. Is that where zero gamma is? I don't have zero gamma line there. Zero gamma line's down here. I don't have that. 209 would be too deep. I think you need to protect value. Right? You need to protect this. If you can't protect that as a buyer, right, then this will be a fail break, a rejection of H1, and you're going to see this, right? For me, buyers just have to protect this. They can form a high low above this, but they cannot come back under this. It's very simple. Unless this has changed and I've missed it. No. 305's biggest call wall today. 140 biggest put wall. Didn't even get there. Oh, it's not even a put wall, it's just most volume, net volume. Mr. Twitty, long from 30,176. Use what I learned from your videos. I noticed a W, waited for the retest, got stopped out break even around 10.15 on the first try, and then trade one more and still in it. 30,176. 30,176. Here. Yeah, I'd say like the whole of that's very good. That's probably even better in many ways. I just wasn't interested in trading this today. I'm quite happy on a Monday to just sit still. I think a better trade will come soon. Bookmap doing here. Come on, wakey, wakey. There we go. Back to IB here. Delta slowing down a bit off that peak formation high. We did see absorption from sellers at highs there. It has flagged it. Doesn't mean can't go lower, higher, but lower time frame. There are definitely some sellers up here passively. Thanks to you, I've finally become profitable the last 3 weeks after 6 months of trading. The biggest lesson from what I've learned from you is to be patient. And that is the biggest lesson in trading, full stop. Patient of when to get into trades and patient once you're in them and they're working to try and let them work. Soxal needs a pullback. Well, it's done that 5-minute peak. The thing is, if it does pull back now, after failing 57s, didn't even make it to 58s, it can come for a retest of 55s down to 54s, and that will give this market a flush back down if it does do that. I'm going to say flush, just a healthy pullback back down. Mags is coming back up towards its VWAP. All right, so Mags looking like it wants to recover here to get back towards 68s. That was its over-under from earlier in the day. And you can see this H1 level up here is starting to reject, and we're probably going to come down and retest this sort of value. There is a low volume node here, which they can protect if they really want, but I would not be surprised for this to travel back down towards value area high for the session and then make its decision, which would near enough be a Tyson trade, by the way. If it does take place, it wouldn't be too far off. So failure to make a new high, pulling back, base is down here, coming back in to rejection point, right? H1 is at resistance level. So we expect this here. It's why I said 20% left only. We expect this to come and retest where we broke out from and then make a decision. If buyers cannot hold the bid here in a retest down here or above, then they will be fairly upset, I would imagine. What rating would I get the long trade back at 10.53? This. C? That's a C trade. You're inside this at the midpoint. So you're 1 to 1. You got the expansion, but there's no guarantee of it. It's a C trade. I don't even think that's a B trade. I'd say this is maybe a B trade. That's a C trade. That's a no trade for me. $45 minutes left. Hopefully we can get something good set up soon. I will give away some accounts today if you guys do your job and get the likes up. Where are we at on the likes? How many of you are in here? All right, so look, there's at least like 1,600 of you not hit the like button, the thumbs up. If we get to 1,000 likes, I will give away an Apex account. All right. If we get to 1,200 likes, I'll give away something else. I will decide what we do. I'll have to have a think what I've got left to give away. Also, if you haven't already entered into the 50 Apex accounts giveaway, all you got to do is make a donation to charity. That video is still live on YouTube. Thank you guys for everyone who did enter. We are already well over the $1,000 target, which is amazing. Absolutely amazing news. Buzzing with that. So thank you, everyone. You want the terms in advance? Well, you've got the terms, boss. I got to check. I don't know what I've got left to give away. You've got to let me check what I've got left to give away. I don't want to make a promise of something I can't keep. It would be something decent. All right, it would be something decent. Okay, I can give away my funded futures. I've still got some to give away. So end of day, daily payout, I can give away my funded futures once we get to 1,200. All right, guys, so we're going nowhere now. Market's just become quiet and a little bit stuck here. We have seen relief on ES. It might still want to come for that 24-hour VWAP and New York Open retest. Same on the MAG. It's coming for that VWAP retest here. Semi still basing out. Slower market today, lower ATR, but everything's still healthy. How's the house sale back home? No, not finished up yet. But we've signed all the paperwork with the lawyers. It looks like it's going ahead, but they are in a chain the other end. So it will probably be about whether they can sell. I mean, they've already agreed to sell of theirs. So look, hopefully it goes through in October, but if anyone sold a house before, you know, don't count on anything until the money's in your account, right? Just watching this order flow here to see if they come and clean out 85s and 300. Can I ban Elizabeth? Why? What's she doing? Is it the same person again? What's my eval pass rate? I have no idea. I'm not a newbie. I'm way beyond that. Depends how it depends on the eval and whether I'm being aggressive or not. Like would be the pass rate. Account was made on Wednesday. Okay. Well, look, we'll give her a chance. If she is rude or spamming like before, then we will remove. It's very easy. Do I swing trade on leverage? I do not, mate. No. Cash positions only, no leverage. I don't even trade options. Very rarely I take some leaps. I'm still learning more and more about that stuff. I didn't say I'd ban you for a simple question. I said if you were rude, because people were calling to ban you. I said, we're not banning you if you were rude or something, or spamming. I'm not banning you for that question. I answered your simple question. Relax. That's okay. I'm willing to answer questions, Elizabeth. I'm not banning you. You're here, aren't you? We're talking. You want to learn if you're burning too many monies on evals compared to the pros. Don't compare. Look, don't compare yourself. You need to create a budget for yourself, right? So your budget for yourself each month of what you're willing to spend into trading, because really this is a game of how long you can survive until you have learned to become profitable. And if you are putting too much budget into that, you're going to get yourself in trouble. So let's say your budget each month could be as low as 300. It really depends what your income is and what your available cash flow is. You certainly don't want to be burning through credit cards like some people do. I don't know what that budget is for you. And then you've got to decide how you're going to trade them. Now, when you start, I would say to you, you need to trade them like proper accounts. You need to be slow, nice and steady, and the right to pass them. When you get better, you're probably going to be more aggressive in them, because what I talk about is time decay on evals. Evals cause time decay, right? So the quicker that you pass them, the quicker you can make money on them, right? So then it's a question of, can you get an A+ situation where you can size up a little bit more aggressively than you probably would on a PA account or a sim funded account, and try and get past quick? That's all. The absolute gex zones, yeah. Concerned. I think it's really dependent on what that lines up with, right? So I've often seen them traded through before, and then we start to flip. But like this morning, we had this absolute gex zone. For me, the fact that it lined up with previous day value was probably more of the trigger. Now, if this if the put wall was here, or we had a closer call wall, it would have been better confluence from me. I don't give too much credence to this, but there's definitely something worth looking at. What is the buy and sell indicator? This is the Flow Zone Pro. All right, this is just based on momentum. All right, so momentum went positive. We flipped them. It became a buy. All right, we started from going under over to having potential positive trend. Potential. We are now developing an LVN here, which buyers are continuing to protect for now. Semis still look like they want more. Looks like they want to get to 160. Mags is stuck at VWAP here. So Mags has completed its move, and this is all going to depend what happens in this LVN now, and whether the H1 traders, right, are going to keep these guys stuck. It's very simple. Do these guys remain stuck up here? Are we going to hold dips and recover it? Or are we going to see this move here, and then what happens there? Do we hold that, or do we just wash back down into this? I don't know, folks. I genuinely don't know, because this is where we're at with the market. I know overall, we are bullish overall, but the market's been in a bit of a washing machine, and it wouldn't surprise me if we failed to break out today on a Monday. How to use LVN and high VN? Go through my volume profile course. It doesn't even need to be the paid one. There's a free video on my YouTube. Go and watch that. That goes over it all. Now the key now, mag rejecting VWAP, is if they start to hold a higher low bid in front of 67.50s, I would say, on the mags. If they do, that might be the end of the selling today. We are still in a range up here. This LVN is still being protected. I would still like to see this market come back down to this and make a decision. Right, so if you're short up here for that H1 rejection, that internal sweep, right, your covers are still down here. I'm waiting to see if we come down there, and then if they're willing to form a bid. I would like to see them travel into here and see if they want to do this, or if they're alternatively going to do that at this key level. Do I do one-on-one? No, I do not. Charlie. Yeah, I know, mate. Well, this is why it's, if I wasn't streaming, you know, you could be doing other things. Set price. This is why best thing to do is set price alerts, right? Do I think Elon, I think you mean, will try and drop price of Tesla so he can merge it with SpaceX for discount? I have no fucking idea. Like, why would he want to drop the price of Tesla to merge it? I don't think so. I have no idea. But if he dropped it much more, he'd start causing panic. How much would I need to do a one-on-one? I have no interest in doing one-on-ones. Sorry, I give up so much of my time already. My time is precious. I already do this for a job, so I have time freedom. I'm not then going to lose more time freedom to do one-on-ones. Because you do one-on-one, and then someone else wants a one-on-one, and suddenly you've become a school teacher. No offense, but it ain't how I want to spend my time. I want to be trading less and less and less and less and less. I've said for ages, I want to trade less and swing trade more. That's the long-term goal. It's definitely worked out better this year. Swing trading is picking up more and more year by year. And when I read Market Wizards and I hear guys like Lance and people talk like that, it just reinforces that in my mind. Can I do something more vocational? Can I do something more charitable? And can I trade less? Yes, please. That sounds like a good life to me. Tell you what, though, reading that book's got my juices flowing where I want to go back to small caps. I just think the edge, if that thing starts moving as a sector, I'm very tempted to go back into it. What do my swings look like? Well, I mean, these are not at peak at the moment. Some of these have come off the highs. That's Apple. That's Softy. That's Amazon. This is Hood. This is AMD. I don't have much size left on this. I sold a lot of it on the drive up. These are all in common stock, by the way. This is SoFi. This is Adobe. This is ARC. That's pretty much it. Oh, this is DRAM. I got filled on some DRAM. Fuck yeah, I didn't even know I got filled. Hell yeah! Let's go. I didn't even know. My wish order got filled. That's DRAM. That's pretty much it. I get, oh, it looks like I got filled some now as well. So I've been filled a little bit now. Those are what my swings look like. Yeah, I posted that DRAM, right? In the swing, right? I think so. I remember saying I want some DRAM. Now I've been filled, so I just got filled on now. I don't know when, if that was Friday or today. I think it must have been today. Where's DRAM? I'm sure I talked about it. Maybe it was here. There we go. Watching DRAM, SOXX, if they hold the bid, which they did. And here. There you go. You can see me looking to fill DRAM. So I got the fill on DRAM. All right, here's the failures. And we'll see if we test value area high now, and we'll see what happens down here. So this is MAG rejecting VWAP here. And we'll see if MAG put in a high low around 67.70s down to 67.50s. Now, if you are shorting this, you've got to respect this, right, where we broke out from. Right, so the H1 traders did sell into this pin high. That resistance level we talked about, those buyers remain stuck. Okay, and we're going to come back down to here, we would imagine, and we have to see if they bid out from here now. And if they don't bid out from there, we go back in the range rotation. All right, so this is H1. Remember, we've talked about this over and over and over and over and over again. All right, buyers are stuck up here. There's been no acceptance here, here, here. Look what we've just done again. Exactly the same level, right? Now you've got your first covers coming into 40s. And I will watch to see if they trap and are willing to bid down here or not. And Max is doing the move we just talked about. Right, it's coming right in to the exact zone. And we have to see if they put in a higher low here. All right, so Mag's rejecting VWAP. Structurally, all right, we have to see if Mags are willing to bid here now. You've just hit TP1 for your covers if you were short on NQ for this move. All right, you're coming into value here, right? Into value. You need to be covering here to VWAP, the IB, the Tyson trade. All right, I would take some off here and then look to see if it can expand down to VWAP. I'd be very cognizant of Mags trying to find a bid where it is at the moment. Oh, Elizabeth, what? Because I don't want to, because I don't give a fuck. Like, I don't care about these moves right now. This is not filling my whole criteria of everything that I want, all right? Because I'm not going to waste my mental capital. This idea that you have to constantly be in for every move, looking for every single move, it's just like not the case. I'm quite happy to sit still, let this develop, even if it requires 1 or 2 days of development. I'm happy to do that. My days. This notion of needing to constantly be in and everything is madness to me. All right, so you're coming into the VWAP, you're coming into value here, and buyers will need to protect this. If they don't protect this, you'll come further and further down in towards these VWAPs. But if you were short at the initial balance or on that sweep, you want to be covering a good chunk here. Can I give Devo a shout out? Yeah, I haven't seen that, but yes, if you guys are answering other questions, I appreciate you all on chat. Right, I'm going to have a little bathroom break here for the first time today. Hopefully I don't miss this move, but what I would say now is you've got some buyers trapped up here, so you've got lower time frame and higher time frame trapped up here. If this rejects here, if there's a push up, there is a sell opportunity versus 63s to 50s. All right, so if you're not already in this, if they push and fail here, there's a new sell opportunity for this move. I'm desperate for the bathroom though. I'll be right back. All right, let's see if we poke back in and if that now provides an opportunity. Mags is trying to put in a high low. Oh, I might have just missed that. I might have just missed that in the bathroom by a tiny bit. Yes, 55s. What was on the flow? Oh, I've missed the opportunity. Bathroom breaks might cost me here. All right, your next cover's a VWAP and then point of control. Congrats everyone to this trade here. Man, I'd love to get in this if possible. Right, TP2 now hit. Your next target is 20s to 15s. There are unfinished auctions if they want to rotate this whole value again. So I'd be, your opportunity now, once they failed, is here. I've missed this high low in the bathroom. All right, and this here, we did just talk about this before I left. This is your TP, then down here, and then all the way down to lows because we still haven't filled the gap if you get very, very lucky. All right, don't add late now. You're either in from up here or you're not. Do not chase this lower. Please do not chase this lower. All right, you'll only get yourself hurt. Nice, Tyson, the legend that is Tyson. Nice work. Nice work. Mother clucker. Bathroom break at the worst time. But this is a nice setup. All right, higher time frame rejection. Numerous attempts to move higher. This is your lower high. This is that's the short. All right, once they reject, that's the short. For me, how I would like to trade this. Obviously, wasn't at the screens, but there we go. Okay, there is an unfinished auction to trade down to into 208, and there is another one down to 192s. So if they're going to rotate all of this, it's possible we come right down into these if you get lucky. And again, remind yourself where the H1 rejected, all right? Who was trapped? These guys overnight. What have we done here before? This move. What's the trade? Okay, back inside range. If we get under value, we trade previous day's value. Okay, back down to these lows potentially. All right, so your cover points, you need to respect this on H1, right? You need to respect this in H1 right now. It's very possible they build this out early week. All right, so pay yourself on the way. Do not chase the midpoint on the way down. You will regret it. All right, that's that first auction repaired at 208. And they've bid off it so far. Murph, H1's God mode once you understand it. It is, mate. It is for day trading. It really is for day trading. Oh my God, my rotated cuff is a bit sore. It is for day trading. And we'll see now if they reject value up here. Now, H1, Mags, all right, is starting to find the bid at the level we talked about. All right, there we go. There's the high low set here, remember? All right, so if it reprices up here, then make a decision. Do they go squeeze or do they reprice and resell? But we expect this reaction here from Mags. Semis are actually still holding on, right? They've come back down in, but they're still above this breakout right now, right? And this can still be a two-leg that they bid out of. Which is why I'm saying do not chase the shorts. If you are not in the shorts, you do not want to chase this short. You will be punished for it, or there's a high probability of you being punished for it. You're right back into midpoint in the range. Nice, Tyson. Don't worry. It's a great trade, mate. Way to go, sticking to the same process. And also, mate, really appreciate that message that you sent. Meant a lot. Really appreciate it. All right, new lower day on ES. Where's the broader weakness then? Is energy coming back down in? Healthcare's found a bid. Energy's found a bid. So defensive. Costco, WMT. Did WMT have earnings this week? Pretty sure it does, right? Walmart. Pretty sure it does. All right, there's still an imbalance, an unfinished auction down to 192s if they want to get there on the extension. All the way down here. So if you're still in this with runners, just hold on to it and see if you can get down to 192s and then 183s. And if you get under 183s and we get under previous day value area high, maybe we expand. Maybe we complete this gap fill and come down here. But we're not going to bank on it, right? We're going to your trade location. If you didn't trade the short of the highs, it should have been this lower high set here, this bear flag basically. Right, I would have preferred it, if I'm honest, to come into this a bit more. You're short here, your TP1, TP2, and then you're looking for, what did I say it was? 92s. Down here if possible, if it wants to come all the way down. And then under that, we can think about this move. But 92s would be the next target. Down here. I'd be very careful about the mags finding the bid here. This is why I would not add late in this trade. What time frame is my footprint? I look at the M5 and the M1, mate, for my footprint. That's what I like looking at. And then obviously on Bookmap is tick. So it's not minute based. Isaac, how many points do I use for my stop loss? Again, we go over this a lot. Your stop loss cannot be points based. It needs to be based on where the risk needs to go for the trade to be invalidated. So whether that's on volume, whether that's on a trap player, whether it's on a key level, if you use a points-based system and a fixed rate-based system, you are likely to lose your money and be stopped out many times because the market does not care about how many points you risk, right? It cares about the liquidity in the market. Are any sellers trapped? There was delta divergence at that pin low here, but there isn't that much selling trap. There's actually just a big buy that came in at 27. So if we move under him, we might move lower again. But all we did was come into point of control. There was a little bit of excess down there, but it's not significant. Maybe 210s was the point of control of that low candle. There was a 30 lot down there, and there was delta divergence. So this was a heavy delta candle lower, which closed up. So that's showing that there's a passive player down here, which is not surprising, is it? Given that this is the LVN in here, if we think about that. But I still think there is a chance to do this at the moment, especially if we move under 15s. What do I think about fair value gaps? There's nothing wrong with fair value gaps. It's just that they're not accurate. They are imbalances, but they are not showing you the whole story. All right, so they're not accurate. So like you might mark out this, but actually in there, the only imbalance in there is from 34 to 37, right? So, and just because it's a big candle does not guarantee there's a natural imbalance in there. It all depends what happened in the order flow in that move. And sometimes, like I know there's an imbalance here, and you'd say, well, there's not a fair value gap there. It's because imbalances aren't based on fair value gaps. They're based on what actually happens in the order flow. So they're a good way to start learning, to start to think about the understanding of it. If you actually understand what a fair value gap is, right? It's an engulfing move where the book has an aggressive player who moves through numerous passive players very quickly, meaning no one else can get filled. Why don't you like ICT? There are many successful ICT traders. I'm not even going to get into that. There are successful ICT traders. That's not why they're successful. And most of them trade many other things which are not part of his. They just don't talk about it. There are also a gazillion losers from over there. Alex, where would you start for a swing if you know only your courses and day trading with props? What do you mean? Where would I start to learn swings? I'm trying to understand what you mean. What do you mean by that? How does the free indicator on jot form work? Well, I show the indicator on the video. If you filled out the jot form correctly, you'd be added to it. If you haven't filled it out correctly, you need to put your trading for your username in. What broker do I use? I have lots of broker accounts. A TradeStation account, I have an IG account, I have a 212 account. I think I still have a TradeZero account somewhere. I just opened up a new Robinhood account actually this weekend. Okay, another hold of VPOC here. Which one is best? Mate, it all depends what you're looking to do. A lot of these questions, guys, like you're asking for, what you're asking for is opinions without knowing what you're looking for. So I'll give you an example what I mean. If you're looking to be on the short side on small caps and hard to borrow, right, then a certain type of broker is going to be better for you because they might provide hard to borrow shares at cheaper prices. Some brokers don't provide hard to borrow shares at all. If you are on a budget and you're okay with less execution because you're going to trade higher time frame, as in less price per execution, you might want something like a Webull or a Robinhood where there's no round trip charge. If you're trading lower time frame, maybe you're willing to pay execution fees because you want instant movements in the market. You want to see data quickly. Like, there's so many variables to what you're saying. Some brokers might allow options trading. Some brokers won't allow options trading. Like, it's just, there's so many nuances to everything that you're asking here. What you need to understand is, why are you opening the brokerage account? What type of trading are you looking to do in it? And then does that brokerage account fit your criteria? That's the question you should be asking. For example, I would imagine, and I've not checked this, but if I wanted to be on the short side of small caps, I probably don't want to trade with a heavy retail broker like a Webull or Robinhood. All right, you're gonna need, like, I don't know if they're still the best, but like Interactive, TradeZero, which I know used to piss me the fuck off, TradeZero, but their fees were astronomical. Trying to think who else. God, I'm gonna have to rattle my brain to get back there. Can't even think of all the other brokerage for small caps. Centerpoint, thank you very much. Centerpoint was always good. They did good rebates, actually, Centerpoint. If you added liquidity to the market, if you were a limit player rather than a market player, you could actually get really good rebates. Think or swim? No, definitely not. Definitely not. Not for small caps. For other stuff, maybe, but. Right, coming back up to value. And this will be the question now, right? It's very simple. Had this W formation. Do sellers protect this now and sell this back down into here? Or is it a reclaim and then they're going to move higher? Mags, like we said, has held that key level like we talked about. Right, so we come to Mags. I'm just trying to do this so you start to learn. We came back into what? Into the same key pivot. We called this before it happened. Lightly fails this, pulls back. If it sets a higher low, comes back to here. Is there increased pressure now that it's set that first high low for the day? Or do we just go sideways in here? 5 minutes left till lunch. We haven't really done a lot today. I mean, the market hasn't done a lot. You might think it's done a lot. It really hasn't done that much. All right, this is what we've done today. This is why I'm being very patient. I'm not too bothered. This is what we've done. Yeah. That's it. That's all the market's done. If you've got chopped up and blown your account today, you just haven't been willing to sit still. All right, I will watch this move back into this LVN to see if we start to reject here, to see if I can get short on the next shove up, especially if mag fails. And it would just be for a retest. I might have just missed it again. This might be twice today where I've missed the opportunity. Definitely a seller at value area high up there. So I'm going to look to see if I see a shove up and a passive seller sat in here willing to hit this back down. And I'll cover some here and then I'll hold a runner. If we reclaim this and there's no passive selling, there's no short opportunity. It means we just go right back up to try and get to highs. Elizabeth, I'm not going to answer any more of your questions. You're taking up a lot of room. I've just explained why I'd be short bias here. It's not why I'm more short bias today. It's why I'm short bias here. I've gone over it. I'm not going to spend my time on you all the time. I'm sorry. It's too much now. I don't even know how we're done on the likes yet. We're only at 1,000 likes. So we're doing Apex giveaway. If we don't get to 1,200 likes, we won't give away anything else. I'd like them to lift this higher before they rotate this back down. See if we can come this LVN a bit higher. If we set a higher low here in towards 230s before moving higher, I won't take the short because it would have repriced the rebalance already. So there'd be less probability of it moving back down. So this needs to move up and fail. If it doesn't do that and it comes down first and holds a bid and then comes up, I won't be short on that because it would have really already proved to me that it can hold. And there's only 3 minutes left into lunch. Mags looks like a higher high. No, it's not higher high yet. It's a higher low, mate. Definite higher low into that area. And then that, if you look at that high pivot on Mag into VWAP, that's the key, right? So if they stuff that, then we're going to go into a range on mags, which is what we've talked about. Semis are the one that looks dangerous to me. All right, they look like a inverted head and shoulder here on a 5 minute. They are holding the bid. They've probably trapped some sellers into that move into previous day high. That's the one that looks dangerous to me. And if it breaks out, it's going to look for the cool wall at 160 today. So this is going to depend really. What we're asking the market is, are you going to bid both up, or are you going to do the washing machine? I just want to focus here for a minute, guys, just to see if this lifts. I just want to watch this order flow, just in case I can get one more trade at the beginning of lunch, if they pop this up and sell it. And then after that, I'll focus on chat again. I can answer some of your questions. You ain't going to come up there, are you? I think I missed it. I think this was it when I was talking about it and missed it. I think that was it because we had delta divergence at the high. And that's the only candle I see buyers come in and be caught. And we've not come back up there again. And now we're rebalancing the imbalances. And we can come back down to view up here. And if we lose that, we're going to come back down to New York Open. And that will be the trade for the scalp. Yeah. Missed the opportunity, unfortunately. And now that we've done this move here, I'm not interested in the short. Right, so the short was here. Fucking hell. Was here, right? And in this candle, I wonder if we've got it here for you guys. In this candle, we had good excess. Now we've repriced this. I'm not interested in a short up here because we've already done the move, and it's now just a question of do they rotate the whole thing or not? So it's your TP1. If you let go of this shelf here, if these buyers here let go, there are still reasons for this to trade lower at the moment. There are still unfinished auctions down into 92. There are still some imbalances down into 200. It's just a question of whether they do it in lunch view. So if any of you did take the short up here, all right, it's a scalp down to here. And if they let go of this, right, we're still targeting this. This is the unfinished auction at 92. There's still gap fill. The only way you're going to get that gap fill, in my mind, is if semis pull back now. We are seeing MAG do the move I just talked about. All right, so if I take you to an individual chart here. All right, higher low, rejecting here. Remember whoever said the higher high, and I said no, it's not. All right, higher low, back into here, stuck here, pull back into range. This can put sell pressure, and then it's all about whether Soxal wants to do the same thing and fail to make a new high. Right, and this is the one that for me looks dangerous for the 160 move. There you go, to 160. And this is the one that looks dangerous for that move. If it fails to move higher, then we have buyers who are probably being overly aggressive here and the reprice comes in. I think that's it, folks. I can't see me getting this trade. Maybe some of you are still holding from first time round. It's the same trade, right? Exactly the same trade. If they let go of this, 192, so you're into the next imbalance here into New York Open. And if they let go of VPOC, then I think you can get 192s, 186s, and under that, I would assume new low of day. All right, so 192s is here. And then I'll stay with you here. How many of you are in this so that I know? Is it worth me staying here with you? The GOAT trophy, thank you very much. I don't know what that does, but I'll take it. Talking about Webull, can we see the stock what you mean the ticker on here? Bull CJD. It's looking good. You can see where I want it to be long. It's looking good, man. This is starting to look really good. Long term, I think this has got legs in it. The only thing is it's got quite a lot of dilution possible, but long term looks pretty good. If you're going to close your eyes and go to sleep for the next 10 years, I would imagine it'd be pretty good. It reminds me a lot of Hood when it started. So if you think about Hood, the early days in Hood, right? Early days. Not here. I'm talking about way back here. All right, IPO. Sell it off. Base out. Starts to climb. Holds a big high low over the base. And then up and away we go. All right. Bull is starting to remind me a bit of it. And it has been. I've been looking for this sort of move for a while. IPO. Same move, right? IPO, sell it off, walk down, starting to put in high-low weekly pivot, all right? And this then becomes plausible in the future if they can do it. Again, the only danger here is the amount of debt and warrants that they can use and offerings and stuff. Okay, here you go, folks. So next target is 192s now. Is Bull Chinese? Yeah, Webull is owned by China, but it's not like a dodgy Chinese ticker. I think it's actually Hong Kong originally. Here it comes, folks. Fucking hell, mate. Missed it. Missed it. Okay, into this LVN, and if they let go of this LVN, they complete the move. This is where buyers protected first time round, remember? Mag's just done the fail that we talked about. So Mag's back into the low side of the range. This is everything I talked about. All right, failed up here, back to the low side of the range. If they let go of this, then we see pressure coming, and you're going to get a wonderful move in here if they can. So into some TP area here, and then look for 192s, and then honestly look for lower days if you get under value. The 192s here. There's an imbalance 197 to 195s, but I think 192s will want to be repaired. And then there's an imbalance under that at value area low for the day. So I would say this is still the trade. It's exactly the same trade as first time round. It's just it didn't quite fill me. Looking to donate to 988 with you guys. Do you have a link for us? It's very kind of you. Yes, I do. Hang on. I'll post it in chat. Thank you very much for making that donation. And after you donate, if you can forward the receipt of your donation to fztcharity@gmail.com. All right, and you'll be entered into a free Apex giveaway. It's got 50 accounts to give away. What is 988? 988 is the American Crisis Helpline. It is charity run. It's what you call or text if you're distressed, if you're feeling low, if you're considering doing bad things, or if you're dealing with someone in a situation like that and you want advice, pick up the phone, give them a call. They're very, very helpful. Do we need 1,200 likes? Yes, we do to do the My Funded Futures giveaway. We already hit 1,000 likes. So we're going to do an Apex giveaway no matter what. Right, LVM protected again, back to midpoint again. Semis look weak. Sorry, semis looks bid. Mag looks weak. VIX just chopping around the 15s. And we're still in this D. Any seller call? I mean, the last 5-minute bar was all sell side activity down there, right? Heavy delta. How long have we got left? You got 1:20 left. So delta, see this? Like into imbalance, didn't quite hit it. This is the 192 I want us to reprice. I still think we can move down here. We've just tapped into a sell side imbalance, back to a buy side imbalance. We haven't tapped into it. We haven't cleaned it out. Sellers are being absorbed right now. This is the big buy delta down here at 200. Once we move under 200, maybe there's a wash, but you can see under there, it's all sellers that have been absorbed. All this is, if we just zoom this out, right, it's a lot of buy side activity from sort of 215s to 248s. And then it's a lot of sell side activity under 200 down to low of day. And in here, we're neutral. Now, that isn't surprising, is it? If we think about this, all right, this is kind of our neutral zone around POC. Above that, we're failing to auction higher. Below that, we're failing to auction lower, which is why we're in a sort of slower, lower ATR rotational day. The rest of us can learn from you, Alex, and not just how to trade. Thanks, my friend. You're welcome, man. You're welcome. Let's make the place, let's make the world better. Let's help people that need it. What chart did I just bring up? That's Spectra Pro on NinjaTrader. It's a footprint-based chart. It's a flow zone indicator. If you're interested, you can get it on my website. Do I think the move comes Wednesday or Thursday? Yes, in short. If we look at the news coming this week, minutes on Wednesday, vaguely interested because I know it was a split decision. I think 3 of them didn't vote in line, right? So 3 of them wanted a hike last round of FOMC. So we'll see what those comments were. The big one's going to become Thursday, I think. 2 reasons. Jobless claims, OPEX. So we'll see where we're at on Thursday. I think that's going to be Wednesday, Thursday, I would agree. But remember, it's OPEX this week. So how many monthlies can they burn, right? How many monthlies can they burn? Regarding my question on where to start with swings, I was meaning literally, what would you watch and do in order to be as much profitable as possible and avoid mistakes? Okay. So the first thing you want to think about when you're swing trading is what side are you going to be on? The easiest side to be on really with a swing trade is probably on the long side, okay? Because your risk is always limited. If you want to be a short seller, you've got to know that you've got infinite risk because price can always keep going higher. Price can't always keep going lower. So that's the first thing. Like, I prefer, although some of my big wins this year have come from short swings, I prefer being on the long side because it's less stress, number one. Secondly, is you don't have to pay for borrows, right? Thirdly, what would I be thinking about? What are you looking for in a swing? Are you looking for a 1, 2, 3 day swing? Are you looking for a 1, 2, 3 month swing? Are you looking for a 1, 2, 3 year swing? Big difference. Big difference. If you're looking for a 1, 2, 3 day swing, all right, you could be focused on breakouts. All right, maybe something's been oversold, come into a key pivot, gone sideways for in consolidation for a while. You can use a scanner and you can be looking for the breakout. If I was looking for that, what would I be looking for? Probably a mid to small cap, ideally not small, like a mid cap. Why? Because they're going to move through liquidity quicker. Like large caps often take longer to do it. That'd be the first thing. Secondly, you need to think about your leverage and the amount of money in your account. That might prevent you from trading some stocks. For example, if you're trading with a $1,000 account, you can't be getting into some of these bigger names. All right, so you're going to have to focus on cheaper stocks. You're going to have to look at what the float is. I'd also be looking at like the type of trade you're looking at. If it's a 1, 2, 3 day swing, is it a relief trade? If it's a relief trade, is there high short interest in it? Is there good insider like owned? What's it just trade down to? Is it trade down to an RBS? Is it a 200 day? Is it a first tap of it? Have we got an inside bar build? Like, it's the same principles that you're trading on everything else. It's just putting it all together. Now, what I'm normally looking for is a daily and weekly consolidation in a stock that I like, which means numerous things. One, I don't want it to have lots of possibilities of raising capital via offerings or warrants or anything like that. All right, so I want positive net cash flow for starters. So I tend to avoid trading small caps on the long side. That doesn't mean I'm not currently in some small caps. Those in Discord will know that I am long in some small caps where I think there is possibility for a move over the next few years, but they are a punt. Secondly, I'm waiting for the market to come into a key area. So if we think about the swings that I've made a lot of money on over the last the last 12 months even, right? So let's think about AMD. I'm long from 180 on AMD. Right, so what did we have in AMD? So the same thing we always talk about. Breakout, pullback, higher time frame line. If I put the EMAs in here, you'll see, even if I did an anchored VWAP here, it would be here. Lots of reasons for me to position long in and around this gap fill, okay? Into what? A sector I like. All right, high probability sector. There we go, bang. Right, and now I'm just sitting in runners. If we look at Apple, I'm long from 220s in Apple. Same kind of thing, all right? Long base. Breakout, pullback, push, fake out, hold, long. Thanks very much. Long, high, low. Thanks very much. Same thing. This was the key trigger for me entering long here. This is a failed breakdown. We're short to chase, and it's the same thing. Again, if we do an anchor now, up, up, and away, right? It's the same thing. Good companies at good prices. The only other trade I'd look at, if I'm not trading good companies at good prices, I'm looking for beaten down companies. Right, this is a risky trade because Oracle has debt issues from where it's over leveraged in the AI trade. But this, okay, undercut, reclaimed, held, long, 200 days here. Right, I know it's here because I've done my back testing. Right, if we were long first time round for this, we caught this move. I'm going to have another go in here soon and look for this move again. Right, nothing changes. It's exactly the same principles, but it's going to come down to what account size you have, what kind of thing you're looking at. Also, if you're looking at swings, think about sectors. All right, so what have I been long in over the last 3 months? I've been long in healthcare. Over the last 3 months, I've been long in I have to look where my entry was. In fact, let's just get it up here. Okay, here we go. So from 15th to 6th, so early on in June. Yeah, so I'm long somewhere down here. All right, why? Sector rotation, beaten down, right? While everything else was moving higher. Okay, so we expect a rotation. There's the hold on healthcare, long, great. Thanks very much. What else am I long in? XLF. New all-time highs here, or new 52-week highs. Okay, same play, same time, long. Why? Sector rotation. All right. If you understand the sector rotations, you can position yourself for swings, can't you? Because if this is the pie, all right, this is your Mag 7, and this is semis, all right, and these have been big green. Well, semis have. These have been flat, to be honest. Once we start coming out of this, we have to go into some of the other sectors, right? Defensive names, etc., etc., healthcare, finance, energy, yada, 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 yada. So also, I'm always thinking about sectors, all right? Because if I can get in position well into a sector, I can show you the same thing here so you know I'm not talking shit. XLF. Here you go, same time, 15th to the 6th, all right? Same for XLF, all right? I'm long in these from the 15th of June, from here. Right, very simple, isn't it? Consolidation, breakout, RBS, hold, sector rotation. Thanks very much. All right, and that's an ETF. That's an easy, low risk play. It's not a highly volatile move. there we go. What time frames am I looking for swings on? I'm normally looking on monthly, weekly, daily charts, and then I'm executing on like an hourly. Like DRAM, I'm long on as of, sounds like as of today, potentially. I'll have to look where that fill came. All right. Why am I long on DRAM? Maybe I got filled last week. Where's that fill? Let me have a look. Where are you? So I got filled on the 11th. I got filled here. Nice. Didn't even realize. This is why I put orders out and I forget about them. All right. So I got filled here. And that's the move. All right. Why? What's this pattern? Thanks very much. Okay. That's the move. And I'll probably have to sell some today into this move already. And then I'll be holding for all-time high breakouts if it comes. Why? Because we oversold semis and now we're looking for the expansion and demand. They've already said demand is going to outstrip supply. It's going to continue to outstrip supply for years to come. And I can tell you, like, I'm in on the London Stock Exchange on this one, so it's slightly different. Okay, but I can show you. I'll print this up so you can see my entries. So you're like, he's not full of shit. So will let me print it. Is it too big? Oh, it's too big. How about this here? There we go. All right, green line is my entry, which is on the 11th. So if I move this to a 1 day, it's here. All right, on this put wall. See this? Push, pull, hold, push, pull, hold. It's right here. This is the 11th. Since that gap and go. All right. You need to focus higher time frames for swings. You can still execute lower time frames, but I put wish orders out for where I want to get filled. That's how I work. All right. Let's start giving some stuff away here for you guys. So let me get this ready. Right, let's give away the Apex account first. Am I already long so far? I am, yeah. Let's give the Apex account away first. So FZT. It's mad that I didn't even know I got to filled DRAM. I mean, that's how... I just haven't paid attention to that. I wonder if there's anything else I've been filled and haven't realised. Goog, I've been filled a bit. It looks like it. Now I've been filled a bit, but not much. Starter position. What I also have all the time, here's a little secret for you, all the time in ETFs, which are broad-based ETFs, like the Nasdaq, like your S&Ps, I have wish orders out all the time on them, just in case we get a panic, because you never know. And if we get panic, I want to start DCAing in. I'll give you guys a minute more. Still think this wants to clean up these auctions. I still think you're going to get 92 here and maybe even below. Still think it's coming, folks. Max is rolling over now. And if semis can't break out, you might get the move. Do wish orders commit funds? Yeah, they do. They do. So it means like all the time they're hanging there and unfilled, my margin for everything else has gone down. So it is worth noting that for sure. But yeah, they do. For, or at least for me, they do on the brokers I use. All right, let's pull this winner. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Winner of the Apex account is Paul Waz. Paul Waz. Are you here, Paul Waz? Nice. Congrats, Paul. All right, you know what to do. Just send me a email, please. info@flowzonetrader.com. And send me a screenshot of you logged in. And just making a note of your name here, and I'll sort you out. All right, here we go. Remember, 92s, I think, is on like Donkey Kong here for you guys. I think you're going to get 92s here. Here it comes. There you go, guys. So into these imbalances, I think you clean out this white line and maybe get value area low. And under that, you've seen weakness. So first imbalance now filled. All right. And then I think you're going to get a 92 reprint, which is what I was calling all the time from up here. So this is going to be a nice 50 pointer for you guys. And then you can hold runners down to value area high from previous day. And if you get lucky, you'll rotate value today. But I think you should get here or hereabouts on your next cover. All right. Thanks for getting me for 1,200. And right, let's give away my funded futures account. So just type MFF into chat. My funded futures. Code there is FCT as well. So code for all your best prop firms right now, FCT. Other than Take Profit Trader, you can use code FlowZone. I'll go over what they're doing at the moment because my funded futures I still think has one of the best accounts in the game right now. If you haven't looked at it, I think people are starting to try and get as close to them as possible. So you want to have a look at their end of day rapid account. Apex also have a sale on 90% off again. Take Profit Trader have the best sale that they will ever do. They never do sales better than this. So right now, Take Profit Trader with code FlowZone is 50% discount. It is a 3-day pass instead of 5-day pass, and it is no activation fee. They will never do a giveaway better than that, a sale better than that. That is the top sale that they ever do. And you normally get one of those a year, and then that's it. So just so you're aware, trade with who you want, but that's a very good sale. I'll give you guys 10 more seconds. All right, let's pull this winner. I'm going to absolutely butcher your name, but I'm going to do my best not to. Awani Run Miller Gobesh 1416. Awani Run. Awani. I mean, I don't know where it stops. I'm really sorry. Sorry I butchered your name. I'll make up for it with the free account, yeah? Email me, please, info@flowzonetrader.com. Screenshot of you logged in. You're welcome, mate. I'm really sorry. And I'll give you a my funded futures account. Seems like members have been the most. It's just luck, mate. It wasn't a members only. It was open to everyone. When we do members only, I cut off the chat, so it's them only. I can show you here, like if you don't believe me. Well, if you didn't spam, you got entered. Look, everyone entered. These aren't all members. The only people that got pulled are people that spammed. Just pot luck. Right, did you repair 92s yet? Oh, still holding that in balance. Still hasn't repaired 92s. If you're still in the short, you can try and hold for 92s. Buyers are going to attempt to protect this area here. All right, your sell is from here. Couldn't get the fill, obviously. That's the sell. All right, and we are in the D. So if we just think about this, if you just zoom out for the day, buyers have successfully defended this today. Sellers have successfully defended this today. This is your chop area. You do not want to trade in here, in my mind. It's a rotation from here. It's a rotation here. It's a no trade from here. Simple as that. And that's what I'd look for the rest of the day. I doubt we do too much more for the rest of the day unless we get some catalyst. I'll remind you to zoom out and see where we are. All right, we're going to go from higher time frame down again like I do every day. Go away, advert. What is this? Get out of it. Okay. Bulls are technically still in control over this. This morning, however, we've done a failed breakout over previous week high. Next target would be up here for the week. We are struggling at the moment. Why? Because we lack liquidity. So it might need to build out in here for a few days. It might be that it needs to come back down, retest this, and then find the bid. I'm very aware of that, and I'm very happy for it to come and do that. On the hourlies, right, this is how I'm going to leave you before we go. Right, what we talked about on the hourlies, which is clear. Same on the daily. We failed to break out over what? Previous week high. Okay, there. That's your failed breakout over previous week high. This morning, when we came back into that, what have we confirmed? Yep, buyers are absolutely stuck up here, and this is a key level that sellers are selling at. So we are still selling downside pressure. We've also confirmed that buyers at the moment are happy to absorb previous day value area high. Right, so buyers are trying to absorb here, sellers are trying to absorb here. Right, if there is a continuation trade underneath value from current day and previous day, the expansion will be down to what? Previous week value area high, which is also previous day point of control. So maybe they're coming to 30,080. If they lose that, previous day value area low. Right, so what I'd be watching today for the rest of the day is, do buyers defend this? Right, do we just do this basically? Or does this move here become available? All right, that's it. I wouldn't be thinking beyond that at the moment. If we think about our expected moves, put this on. All right, the max moves today would take us into previous day's value area low and below. I find that hard to believe unless something changes that we come into our max moves today. I think you will find that we are pinned between here most of the day. Definitely pinned between here, but I'd say I find it hard to see them coming down for that. I'm happy to be wrong, but I just find it hard to see that right now. Things can change though. All right, folks, that be that. That be that. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Is the members paid 600? What do you mean? For YouTube, mate, it's $4.99 a month, if that's what you mean. You're going to get the 92s now, finally. Finally fucking coming into it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. We'll go again tomorrow morning. Decent trading day today. Just not much in it. This was the only other one we were really looking for. Some of you got it. Some of you, probably like me, didn't. It is what it is. 92s is your cover. And then it's runners. Right, 92s, you're almost there. Do you know what? I'll stay with you for like 2 minutes while we just get this target for you guys, just to make sure. I'll watch the order flow for you as you come into it. We should repair this white line at 92s, which I kept talking about. This white line here is about to get repaired. You want to have covers out here, 92s down to 88s. I'm very surprised they didn't just tag that. Hopefully they do it, and then we can get off and get out of here. And then your runners down here, folks. And then if you get under this, maybe you get more of a wash. But I would be covering a good chunk of your money from 92s to 87s, a bit more into 70s, and then wait and see if you get the breakdown back down to 30,080, which would be another 100 points if it does do it for you. But don't be thinking it has to. Come on, come and take 92s. I want to go for a walk and get a coffee. What do I think about SNDK? Not much, really. I think it's very volatile and it's not something I'm willing to bid on. That's why I'm in DRAM. So I can have some exposure without it being absolutely fucking insane. It's really slow today. Yeah, it was the same last week. Very, very low volume today. Come on. I can't believe you just did that. Missed it by a point. Come and fill the team for me, please. Mr. Market. Down you come. Just do it now. 3, 2, 1. Go. Do it. They're trying. They're trying to pile in here. Here they come. Here they come. Here they come. There's a little wiggle there. 92s to 80s are being bid. So hopefully you just get your swipe and you get most of your money out and then your runners. Fucking hell, mate. It's missed it again by a point. Don't be a dick for a tick. Come on, come and fill them, please. Stop being a pain in the butt. All right, Mag's new lows here. And as long as they don't undercut and go back inside, as long as they stay heavy here, you'll get the move. If they undercut and trade back inside 67.50s, it's going to be a problem. What a piece of shit. They protected it. Come on. Now or never. They're trying. They're piling in these sellers now. They are piling in these sellers now. Down here. Here it comes. 95, 94, 93s. They just want to fill 92 and under. Make sure you got your covers out. 92 and a half's there. Fucking hell, literally tagged it. That might be enough for them. I'm very surprised they haven't filled these guys underneath. What did we trade there? 92 and a half. You see these sellers piling in now. I would move your stop downs now. All you guys that have been short up here, you want to protect point of control now. And you want to have your wish orders out. And it needs to go for you. It really needs to go for you because they're starting to faff a little bit too much in my mind. It's excruciating, yeah. It's pretty shit that they haven't just dropped it. It's going to come. It's just whether they're going to be nasty first and like rip it high before they come for it. Mag's falling out of bed now. This thing's like really starting to accelerate downside. Delta divergence at that low. Be careful. That last 1 minute candle had delta divergence at the low. That big seller. What was his size on the tape there? 120 lot at 96s. So if you hold 96s, you might want to be done, or at least reduce. If you can't, if you didn't get your fill at 92s and they hold 96s, you'll probably want to reduce size. Would I take the long if they keep holding? No, because I don't think they've washed enough. I don't think they've actually done the move. The long for me would have to be like a bit more like earlier, like an excess and then a hold. So like if they do this, yeah, sure. But you haven't got any excess here. I still think it's coming lower. Please, can you take 92s so I can get off the stream? Defending it again. These fucking assholes. Mag's still falling out of bed. New lows on the day, Mags. Semis against the world right now. It's just me against the world, baby. That's all it is. I'll give you a readout before we leave as well. Apple, 0.66% down. Amazon, 0.94% down. Google, 0.67% down. Meta, 3.65% down. Microsoft, 2.81% down. Tesla, 0.5% down. Nvidia, 0.78% up. Equal weighted mag, 1.67% down. IGV, 1.63% down. Equal weighted semiconductors 2.46% down, and NQ is 0.20% up. Let that sink in. Mags is 1.66% down, equal weighted. Software is 1.62% down, but we are up on the day thanks to semiconductors. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Imagine what would be happening if semiconductors had not found a bid today. Can you please take 92s? I want to get off the stream. This is taking ages. $96s. This is the delta level. Right, they got to do it now. They're under it. They got to do 92s right now. New lows, Mags. Make sure you got your limits out. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Here it comes. Have your limits out. Bang. All right, filled it. It filled 92s there, finally. Now, you see if you get a runner down into this expansion now. All right, so you should be paid yourself a good chunk into here. All right, 92's filled. That was the main target. If you get runners to go now, all right, you're looking for down here 71s and then gap fill. All right, 107s. And then if you got very, 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 very lucky on the day, all the way down here. Here it goes. Finally, now 92s is let go, you're getting the acceleration. There you go. All right. It took a minute, didn't it? But you got there. And you would not want it to reclaim this shelf now, right? So basically where you just broke from, if you want to give it a bit of room, you can risk 200s. But basically, I would say 92s, you don't let it reclaim that level. 92s to 200, you don't let it reclaim it. And that's how you hold the runner now. And if it stays heavy, it stays heavy. And if it doesn't, you've made your money, right? Nice and simple. Nice and simple. All right, folks. Big love. See you in the morning. Well done today, those that caught that. W's in chat before I leave, if you caught that. Nice, Flacco. Nice. Nice way to end the stream. Nice. Love it. Lovely work, team. Lovely work. All right. Peace and love, Utah stops, all that good stuff. Take care.